evening, everyone, and welcome to Rochester Raging Rhinos soccer. Tonight, it's the US Open Cup Quarterfinals as the Rhinos host their A-League rivals, the Charleston Battery. This is Andrew Battisti, your host for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. When we have the match, we will have Soccer Sam and myself behind the net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We'll have player interviews and your thoughts on tonight's Open Cup matchup. The Rhinos were in US Open Cup play back on July the 20th in a familiar location, Ludlow, Massachusetts, against a very familiar team, New England. The Revolution knocked the Rhinos out of the Open Cup last year, 2-1 in a very even match played at Ludlow, Mass, Lusitano Stadium. So the Rochester players looking for a bit of retribution. It was the Rhinos' third match in 4 days, so Coach Erkley went with some fresh legs in Sean Securis and Corey Woolfolk. Neither of them had played in the most recent league match 2 days earlier against Richmond. The match started off fast in the second minute when Chris Carrieri was taken down in the box by Avery John, resulting in a penalty kick. The regular PK taker for the Rhinos, Doug Miller, was on the bench, so it was Sean Securis who stepped up for the spot kick, but Matt Reese in the Revs goal came up big, diving to his right to make the save. Then just 5 minutes later, New England scored as Pat Noonan sprayed a ball out to the right to Richie Baker, and then Noonan raced into the box. The Irishman got in a good cross, Baker to Noonan, and he beat David Wright with a header past Theo Zagar to make it 1-0 to the Revolution. The Rhinos did not get down and took the game to the Revs, sparked by Woolfolk and Lennon Steenkamp, who had scored the winning goal against Richmond. Lennon was all over the field in Ludlow. He had 6 shots in the match. Just played a great contest. Defensively, Theo Zagar was the top of his game, making big saves on Taylor Twelveman and Felix Brilliant to keep the score 1-0 after 45 minutes. Coach Erkley made 3 of his 4 allotted subs early in the second half. It was Noah Delgado, Doug Miller, and Ian Pilarski coming in. The youngster playing a big role out wide in the offense. Rochester continued to press with Pilarski and Miller teaming up to force a big save from Reese on the hour mark. But then a minute later, Miller got loose on the left and crossed it into Kirk Wilson. He made a couple of slick moves and ripped a left footer from 12 yards into the upper corner. No chance for Reese. That tied the match at 1-1. Let's go back to Tuesday the 20th with Joe Giuliano and Soccer Sam on the call.
Here's Delgado, cuts around Bercoloni. He's done a nice job since he's come into Miller. Corner of the 18 on the near side. Cuts inside. Miller still with the ball. To the top of the 18. Looking for some help. It's Wilson again. Cuts to the 12. Left foot shot. It's in! Goal! Rochester! Kirk Wilson finally buries one in the back of the net. Beautiful work from Doug Miller. 2 cutback moves from Kirk Wilson. Lays it on his left foot. Upper corner, no chance for Matt Reese. We're tied at 1.
Well, Rochester had a number of chances to take the lead, but Matt Reese was up, played big. Stone, Doug Miller, Ian Pilarski, and Carrieri to keep the score tied after 90. The match went to overtime. The last time the Rhinos went to overtime in the Cup, it was that 3-2 loss to Kansas City at Webster Soccer Complex in 2002. The first overtime saw a big turn in the match when Bill Sedgwick received his second yellow card in the 102nd minute and was sent off. The New England Revolution had 3 shots to win the game near the end of the first overtime, but each time the ball went wide of the target. We went to the second overtime, and the fates turned favorably on the Rhinos as Brian Kamler from the Revs went down injured. Coach Steve Nickel had no subs left, so the match ended 10-10. No scoring in the second overtime. The match officially ended as a 1-1 draw, and we went to penalty kicks. The Rhinos had never gone to penalties in the US Open Cup. The only time in their history for a penalty shootout for the Rhinos was back in 2002 against Richmond, a 9-8 loss to the Kickers. The Revs had never gone to penalties in their history in Major League Soccer. Theo Zagar came up big on the first kick, saving Jay Heaps' shot, but Doug Miller could not take advantage, slamming his shot against the crossbar. Taylor Twelman and Craig Demery each converted in round 2. Then it was Theo again being the hero, saving the shot from Clint Dempsey. Overtime substitute Pato Aguilera converted to make it 2-1 Rhinos, and then Pat Noonan pulled a David Beckham by skying his 4th-round shot over the crossbar. So it was up to Carlos Mendez to put the Rhinos into the Open Cup quarterfinals, and he coolly sent Reese the wrong way. The Rhinos go on 3-1 on penalties, the first time the Rhinos was in the quarterfinals of the Open Cup since 1999. Overall, the Rhinos have a 14-7-1 mark in the Open Cup. That's tied for second for most wins since 1996 in the competition, behind the Chicago Fire, who lead with 16 wins, and they're tied with the Columbus Crew. Chris Carrieri leads the Rhinos with 6 goals and 7 assists in A-League play for 19 points, followed by Corey Woolfolk, 7 goals, 1 assist for 15 points. Then tied for third with Kirk Wilson, Pato Aguilera, and Doug Miller, each with 8 points. Theo Zagar currently stands 4th in the A-League with a 0.80 goals against. After tonight, the Rhinos will host Syracuse in A-League competition this Friday at 7:35. Then it's the Battery for back-to-back matches. Once again, we'll be seeing a lot of Charleston the next week or so. Sunday, it'll be 6:05 start here at Frontier. Then the Rhinos will be in Charleston next Friday night, 8:13 at 7:30. And then the Atlanta Silverbacks will host the Rhinos on Sunday the 15th, 6:05 kickoff. When we come back on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we'll be joined by the voice of the Charleston Battery, Andrew Bell. We'll talk a bit about the Battery and his thoughts on the upcoming match tonight here at Frontier. It's the Open Cup quarterfinals, the Rhinos and the Battery. We're about 25 to 30 minutes from kickoff. We'll come back next with Andrew Bell from the Battery next on the Rhinos Radio Network. Back here at Frontier Soccer Stadium, Andrew Battisti here with the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. Kicking off about 25 minutes, the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery in the A-League. It's not an A-League match. What am I saying? I'm screwed up tonight, folks. Sorry about that. US Open Cup. Andrew, come on. This is the US Open Cup quarterfinals. There's 2 A-League teams hooking it up here at Frontier. The Rhinos and the Charleston Battery, joined now by the voice of the Charleston Battery, Andrew Bell. And Andrew, this match for the Battery, this is their season. The Battery will miss the playoffs for the first time in their history, breaking a streak of 11 straight years, which was a U.S. soccer record. Nobody else had ever done it. Not even the Cosmos had ever done it. But the Battery, in the Open Cup, they've been successful in the past. Tonight, this is it for them.
This is it, mate. I mean, this is what it all comes down to. Tonight's game, massive game for us, obviously. Massive game for you guys. I mean, it's the U.S. Soccer's national championship, so you always want to do well. But obviously for us now, we've only won 3 games. We're not going to make the playoffs, like you said. We're better than the Cosmos. 11 years in a row. I mean, come on.
That's amazing. Andrew, you were here the first year the Battery were in the Open Cup, which was 1999, and the Battery and the Rhinos both made great runs through the Cup. Tell us about your thoughts from going back to 99.
Well, that was my first year with the club, and it was a terrific season for us, and a great run in the Cup, like you said. It all culminated for us in that hurricane-drenched night in Virginia Beach when we lost to the Colorado Rapids, and I think you guys turned over the Columbus Crew. What a team the Rochester Raging Rhinos had back in 1999. Probably one of the better teams in the country that year, and of course you went on and won it that season. But actually we stayed and we sat in the stands and watched that game, and I think Rochester came back from behind in the semi-final to beat Columbus. 2 late goals from unlikely sources, Scott Schweitzer and Tim Hardy scoring the tying goal and the winning goal. But 99 is a long way back in history, and tonight with the Battery, good news for the Battery players. Ted Chronopoulos is back in the lineup. He's been hurt much of the season, but he's such an important part of his Battery team. Yeah, Chris Ramsey always says that Ted Chronopoulos adds a bit of quality to the lineup. You know, he's got some experience that some of the other players don't have. Played for 7 years with Major League Soccer, and he's calm on the ball, and if he gets a chance, he's going to get it on target. And, you know, he scored a lot of goals last year. This year he's been a bit unlucky with injury. Well, Paul Conway, Rhino players know him very well. Fans know him well. He's the most dangerous striker for the Battery. He can do it all, and he's going to be ready to go tonight. Yeah, it's good. He's going to be back in the lineup. He's just one of those old veterans who knows how to do the business, knows how to get the job done. He's always going to give 110%. People look at him and say, "Oh, well, look at him. He can't play anymore. He looks like, you know, he looks older. He looks like he can't run." But believe me, he can still move, and if he gets a chance, he'll put it away. Well, we were talking earlier, Andrew, that Coach Chris Ramsey has a lot of experience in cup competition, both as a coach and as a player. It's an incredible story what happened to him in England with the FA Cup. Well, when he was 21 years old in 1983, he went to an FA Cup final with Brighton and Hove Albion. They actually tied Manchester United 2-2 in the first game, and in the replay they lost. Chris Ramsey had his ankle broken in the first game, and didn't play in the second match. And actually it was a funny old game. Brighton probably should have won. They had a chance with seconds remaining. The guy went through Gordon Smith, hit a kind of a tame shot that he probably should have tucked away past Manchester United, and the game ended 2-2. So Chris Ramsey, you know, he comes from that tradition. He knows all about cup football, and you know, he'll have the players ready for tonight's game. It's going to be an attacking game of football. It certainly is. The Battery have to
get off the snide against the Rhinos here at Frontier, Andrew. The Battery have never won a match here at Frontier Soccer Stadium.
See, I knew you were going to...
Well, it's an important point to mention.
It's true. I mean, and trust me, I've seen plenty of games here, so... I know that it's very difficult to come here and play against Rochester because of the terrific support that you have in the community. And this is really, this is one of the soccer towns in the United States. So it's difficult, but, those records are there to be broken.
And the Battery have done well so far in this year's Cup. 2 matches, no goals allowed. First match against Wilmington, a lot of people thought Wilmington was the Cinderella from last year, might knock the Battery off, but you guys won Conway both goals in that match. And then the Metro Stars, what a victory that was over the Metro Stars.
2 good games. I mean, the Wilmington Hammerheads, they're no pushover. They're an excellent team. I know the coach very well. We're very close to those guys geographically. It's Dave Irvin, the head coach down there. And, that was a solid performance. And then against the Metro Stars, we scored the go-ahead goal. We probably had the run of the play, but we also had a bit of luck on our side as they cannoned one off the crossbar off a PK.
Yeah, it was definitely. We missed a PK against New England. Sean Securis had his shot saved. But, Andrew, your keys to tonight's match, what do you think the Battery needs to do to win?
I think the Charleston Battery or the Rochester Raging Rhinos, whoever's going to win this game is going to need to score an early goal. That's my key to victory, and then hang on to the lead.
Andrew, thanks very much for joining us here on the pregame show, and we'll wish the Battery luck tonight.
Pleasure. Thank you, Andrew.
Andrew Bell, the voice of the Charleston Battery. One other thing to keep in mind for you Rhino fans, 2 players will not be in the lineup tonight. Bill Sedgwick is suspended due to the 2 yellows he received against New England, and Neto is out injured tonight. But we have a big surprise in the starting lineup. Don Stevens will have that information for you very shortly here on the Rhinos Radio Network. When we come back on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we will talk about the other 4th round U.S. Open Cup matches that have occurred and what's going to happen tonight in the U.S. Open Cup. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Frontier. This is Andrew Battisti on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. About 15-20 minutes to kickoff for the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery will hook it up in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals, so plenty of time to come down if you're available for this very important Open Cup match. Well, the 4th round of the Open Cup began back on Wednesday, the 14th of July, as Portland hosted the MLS champion San Jose. There were over 10,000 in attendance at PGE Park. Didn't have much to cheer for, though, as the Equakes coasted to a 3-0 win. Ronnie Eklund, Ramiro Corrales, and Dwayne Di Rosario with the goals for the victorious San Jose side. Rochester's Jameel Walker came on as a sub in the 72nd minute of that match, and Pat Onstead actually had the night off for the Equakes. Besides the Rhinos in New England and the Metro Stars Battery, 4 more matches were happening on the Tuesday the 20th. Another A-League MLS match took place in Minnesota as the Thunder hosted the 2001 Cup winners, the LA Galaxy, at the Metrodome. Coach Siggy Smith of LA rested some of his stars, including leading scorer Carlos Ruiz. Turned out to be a very bad move as Minnesota scored the only goal of the match in the 21st minute. Jeff Mateo's free kick was put home by Chris Brunt. Man of the match, Joe Warren, the keeper for Minnesota, was spectacular with 6 saves. Shut out the Galaxy 1-0. Minnesota will host San Jose tonight in St. Paul. In Atlanta, 2 of the best in each league squared off. The Silverbacks hosted the Kansas City Wizards. The visitors scored first Davey Arnaud in the 12th minute, but former MLS MVP Alex Pineda-Chacon equalized on a free kick in the 40th minute. But the second half belonged to the Wizards. They shredded Atlanta for 3 goals. Man of the match Arnaud with the brace in the 52nd minute, and the Kansas City striker set up Francisco Gomez for number 3 just 2 minutes later. Diego Gutierrez had the final goal of the match 9 minutes from time. Kansas City won the match 4-1. There were 2 all-MLS matchups in round 4. In Dallas, it was the 97 champs, the Dallas Burn, hosting Colorado. Scoreless to the 60th minute when U.S. under-20 international Eddie Johnson set up Ronnie O'Brien for the opening goal. Then it was Johnson taking over, scoring twice past former Rhino Scott Ballo in the Rapids net. The 67th and 73rd minutes, Dallas with an easy 3-0 win over Colorado. Kansas City will host Dallas tonight in the quarterfinals. In Columbus, it's the battle of the last 2 Open Cup winners of the 2002 champs. The Crew hosted the holders, Chicago. Home side scored first U.S. international Frankie Haddock, heading home Chris Winger's cross. But in the 62nd minute, the Fire equalized from the penalty spot as Andy Williams was taken down. Fellow reggae boy Damani Ralph beat John Bush to level things at 1, sending the match to extra time. In first extra time stoppage time, Chicago won the match as Chris Armas' free kick found Damani Ralph. He scored his second of the match. The Fire win it 2-1. And on Wednesday, the following day, the 21st, the 1995 Open Cup champs Richmond hosted the 96 Cup winners DC United in front of nearly 9,000 fans at U of R Stadium. United was depleted due to injuries, and the kickers took advantage with their speed up top. In the 33rd minute, a long punt from Ronnie Pascal came to Macomb Cephas, who beat Mike Petke and chipped the ball over Nick Romano from 12 yards to make it 1-0. Cephas could not be contained. He doubled the lead for Richmond in the 64th minute. DC tried to come back, led by Adu. Freddie did get on the score sheet. The 15-year-old's corner in the 77th was tucked in by Nana Kufor, but it was not enough as Richmond made it 4 A-League teams in the Open Cup quarterfinals with a 2-1 win. Richmond is currently in action tonight hosting Chicago. The match is nearing halftime. It is scoreless between Richmond and Chicago. And that is it for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. It'll be Don Stevens and Joe Giuliano coming up next with Rhino Soccer. The Rhinos and the Charleston Battery in the Open Cup quarterfinals. This is Andrew Batista. I'll be back after the match with Soccer Sam on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We'll talk to you then here on the Rhinos Radio Network.
To you, everybody. Glad to have you along tonight. The Rhinos at Frontier Field. Back to US Open Cup play as they take on the Charleston Battery. And this is the third match in Open Cup play this season for the Rhinos. And they meeting the Battery for the first time ever in Open Cup play. They've met a lot, of course, during the regular season and postseason play, but the first meeting in the US Open Cup confrontation. And the Rhinos coming in currently third in the Eastern Conference and third overall in the A-League standings. The Battery coming in as they are currently ninth in the Eastern Conference, 15th overall in the league, and neither team doing all that well of late. Rochester with only 1 win in the last 4, only 2 wins in the last 6, but not as bad as the Battery. Charleston having only 1 win in their last 16 A-League matches. And that's what they've got left to fight for this year is US Open Cup, so they will be putting their all into this match here tonight. The Rhinos with a 2-1 loss in Syracuse on Sunday night. Very disappointed about that one, and talking with the coach, Pat Ercole, tells us his feelings about that game.
Well, the guys played hard. The guys played well. You know, I mean, we outshot them. We outplayed them, and they had 2 goals that went in the back of the net. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, that's what it's about, winning, and they won the game. But on the same token, with the lineup that we put out there and playing on AstroTurf, you know, I thought we did a very good job of playing.
Certainly is a huge advantage, isn't it, the surface for them to play on it, to have practice on that surface?
Well, certainly. I mean, they had a whole week, obviously, to train on it and get ready for us. And, you know, we had a game on Friday, although they played Saturday night against Minnesota. So, I mean, you could look for excuses, but there's no way to you can analyze all you want. The bottom line is the bottom line, and that's winning.
The biggest concern coming out of the games on that surface is coming out injury-free, and with so many games lately, the injuries mounting up a little bit. Did you have any new injuries out of that game?
Well, Neto aggravated his shin bone. He had a hairline fracture in his shin bone, and it looks like it may have resurfaced. You know, and everybody with some injuries, you know, Doug Miller, John Wilson, some of the guys that have just been coming back from injuries, even Carlos Mendez, slide tackle, he burned up all the side of his leg. So, I mean, playing on the AstroTurf is an ugly thing. I mean, it's like playing in the street on asphalt, and you know, it's not an easy thing to do for 90 minutes, so it aggravates injuries that you've had from the past. But in general, I thought we came up, you know, pretty good.
And also, it looked like Delgado came out injured. Is he all right?
He got hurt around the 60-minute mark, but he seems to be all right. He'll be available tonight.
And some good news, though. You have an injured player returning. Is that right?
Yeah, Ian Fuller, you know, he's got back a couple of weeks ago, started running on his own while we were gone, and did a lot of intensive work on his own. And then the last week he was training with us, although we didn't train very hard because of the amount of games we played. But he's ready to go, and we're going to use him tonight.
It seems like, at least to me, that he was sorely missed, wasn't he?
Well, you know, when we started the season, we used him in the midfield, and, you know, we felt that was the avenue to go. He always played as a midfielder in college, and he showed good signs of leadership, and we felt that he could really centralize the team in that aspect. But with the games that we've played, and we've noticed that up front we've given away a lot of head ball situations, and our league is more about that than playing to feet in certain situations, especially playing here in Frontier Field with the smaller field. So we've decided to push them up front, so it'll give us some size up front and give us the opportunity to combat for those high balls.
All right, anybody else returning? Let's see, Bill Sedgwick's still out suspended, right?
Yes, he'll be available for Friday's game.
All right, any other changes as far as the roster is concerned?
No, I mean, pretty much the guys that we've had, I think from a starting situation, you know, we've juggled it around a little bit. Zagar was out last game, but he's going to start tonight, and I think we have a good group of guys in there. I think the difference being Ian up front, that gives us a little size. I think we're kind of looking forward to see how that works.
Really hard to get a read on this game. Charleston struggled all season long, and yet they beat an MLS team to get here to this game. It's hard to know what to expect, isn't it?
Well, I think we know what to expect. I mean, they're a very direct team. They're going to put everything in the box, whether it's a throw-in, a free kick, a corner kick. They're going to press you in your end of the field and try to keep you in your end of the field so they can get restarts there. So I think, you know, they're a team now that has a mission, and the mission is to win a US Open Cup championship, because basically they're out of the league situation. So I'm sure they're going to come in here with a little more vigor than they've had in the last few games in the regular season.
That is Pat Ercole, the coach of the Raging Rhinos, as the players line up at center field. We're about to get underway with this one tonight at Frontier Field. Stick around. This should be a good game. This is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
The Rhinos
tonight here at Frontier Field as the Rhinos get ready to meet the Charleston Battery. I'm Don Stevens, back in the saddle here tonight. Look who else is back. Joe Giuliano's here. Together, we're united.
Don, good to see you again. It has been a long time.
Seems like forever.
And congratulations to you. Some great family news there for your daughter and your son, so congratulations to you and your family.
And you, hope all is well?
Fantastic.
The baby's doing fine?
Giorgio's doing fantastic. Thank you.
Has he been kicking the ball how far? 20, 30 yards by now?
We're going about 10, 15 yards right now.
Oh, yeah. All right. Don't break him in too quickly. All right, let's check the lineups for tonight. Starting out for the visiting Charleston Battery in goal, of course, is Dusty Hudak. He comes into this one with a 2-0 record in US Open Cup play, and in the regular season, 3-12-4, so a tough year for Hudak. But he has not given up a goal in US Open Cup play. A couple of back-to-back shutouts for Hudak for the Open Cup play. And through the defensive row, we'll see Rick Titus, Mark Watson, Nigel Henry, and Henrik Jensen. And in the midfielders we include Justin Evans, Steve Klein, former Rhino Gabe Valencia, along with Ted Chronopoulos is back from an injury. And up front, Paul Conway, who's having a better year in Open Cup play than he has in the regular season. Jesus Martinez is the other forward. For the Rhinos in goal, Theo Zagar, and he has a 2-0 record in Open Cup play, and in the regular season a 7-10-6 record. 0.87 or 10-7-6, I think that should be. 0.87 goals against average. Zagar in goal. The defensive row will be pretty much the norm. Craig Demon, Carlos Mendez, Dave Wright and John Wilson. It should be. I hope they get that changed. Then through the midfield, Sean Shakiris, Ryan Trout, Corey Wolfolk, and Kirk Wilson. And up front, Chris Carrieri, Ian Fuller returns after missing 15 with a broken foot. The Rhinos are shooting at the net to our left. And, of course, it's Theo Zagar in goal down to our right. And we are underway here tonight at Frontier Field. Ball pushed to midfield. Jensen steps up, chips it down to the Rhino 18, headed away by Wright out the near wing and chased down by Wilson. On the left wing side with the left foot, boots it out across midfield, but it skips out of bounds. Throw in for the Battery, should be out close to midfield, although Jensen was trying to take the throw in from about 25 yards out.
And one thing you notice immediately is the size of the Charleston players. Massive team. They'll be strong in the air tonight. Big boys out there.
They've gone big tonight, is right. Headed into the corner by Conway as a collision, and the foul is called on Conway, so it'll be a restart for the Rhinos. Near into the 18-yard box, just getting underway. No score at Frontier Field. By the way, giving you the starting lineups, which is brought to you by MGM Associates, which I would have remembered to do if I hadn't lost my card that tells me to do that.
I'll talk to Soccer Sam about that at halftime.
Somebody lost my card.
I was in Virginia enjoying the beautiful weather. I guess things get lost here and there.
That's headed along the 30, settled in front. Kirk Wilson turns it to the outside along the near wing for Fuller. Crossing into the middle for Shakira, spinning around, and he'll lay it to the outside of the right wing, but unable to make the run up. He is Mendez and the ball out of bounds, so a throw in for the Battery on the far side of the field. From their own 35, long throw in through midfield, headed away by Dave Wright, knotted across midfield by Klein, flick on by Conway, and Mendez back for the Rhinos. They'll send it through midfield. Titus moving up the back of Carrieri, knocks him down. The foul is called, and a quick restart for the Rhinos. Deep to the right wing corner, moving in as Fuller just pushes over the Battery player, but the ball is out of bounds.
And no call there. I thought Fuller definitely shoving Watson down to the turf, but the Rhinos will take a throw-in out of that. And a good combination with Coach Eric Lane mentioning the height of Fuller and Carrieri up top.
Throw into the box, looking for the flick on, headed away from the 6, but knotted back inside by Wilson. Then it's volleyed out across midfield by Jensen, and on the near wing, the rolling ball out of bounds. Throwing at midfield on the near side for the Rhinos. As John Wilson up the left side for Wolfolk, dropping it back near midfield. Wilson off the leg of Conway and out. Throw in again for the Rhinos, this time from 40 yards out. He'll throw it in along midfield. Securis drops it to his own side of midfield, and then a volley kick downfield. One hopper inside the 18 by Dimon, and it's scooped up by Hudak off the 6-yard line. The keeper for the Battery has the ball. No score.
Ted Chronopolis, normally a midfielder playing up top with Conway, so Chris Ramsey going with some attack-minded formation. Valencia on the far side.
Right, heads it back into the center circle. Carrieri checking back for the ball, but that's knocked away by Klein. Demon in turn steps in the way, and then he'll pop one up across midfield. Headed by Jensen into Rhino territory. Underneath it, Securis, but floated over him. Knocked away by Chronopolis, and then chipped up the right wing by Evans, deep to the corner. Demon blocking Conway as the ball rolls to the corner, and it's out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Rhinos. Still just getting started. 4th minute, no score from Frontier Field.
And a lot of teams that come in here play some balls in the air, but Charleston, one of the most direct styles we've seen in a while here. Again, looking for the big guy up top, Paul Conway. So Wright and Demon are going to have their hands full with the big target man up front, Paul Conway.
With the right foot. That's cleared through midfield by Zagar. Headed back through the center circle, checking back for the ball. Martinez couldn't get to it. Wilson for the Rhinos. And then Fuller nets it to the outside. Trout down to the 18. Far into the box, trying to get by Valencia. Cross in front. Knocked down along the 18 and out of the box. Comes out the near wing. Getting to it first is Wolfolk. Drops it back near midfield. Wilson steps up. Rolls it ahead in the middle for Kirk Wilson. To the outside of the left wing for Wolfolk. Tried to touch it back to Wilson, but that didn't have enough steam on it. Knocked back to midfield. Conway checking back for the ball, leaves it out on the near wing. Wolfolk sliding in to knock it away. For Securis along the near touch line. Bothered by Klein, pass away. Wolfolk dump, and no call. The ball taken away, and Klein comes upfield for the Battery. Looking for the throw ball on the left wing side. Martinez in behind, and the whistle stops play on the offside.
The Rhinos have to get used to the 3-man formation up top. Martinez now pushing up with Chronopolis and Conway. Normally, 2 forward players that Rochester's 4 defenders have to mark, but tonight 3 players in the mix. So it'll be a bit of a change. We'll see how well the Rhinos adjust to that.
Zagar will take the kick. 25 yards out off the right wing side. 5th minute at Frontier Field and no score. He'll play it through midfield, coming down around the 35. Titus heads to the side, but stepping up. Securis for the Rhinos gets tied up. Helping out as John Wilson escapes, chased from behind by Chronopolis. Wilson sneaks it through inside the 18. Knocked down. Rolling ball off of Carrieri, knocked down by Hudak. Scoops it up, and it sticks and holds on.
I've been touting the big size of the Charleston Battery. That's where Rochester could be effective, is on the ground with through balls. To the speedy Carrieri just doesn't make full contact on the shot, but a through ball cutting right through the defense.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's what the Rhinos have needed all year is through balls. They just not have been unable to penetrate the 18-yard box much this season.
A lot of services have been in the air, so if they play in the air, now they've got an option with Fuller to help out Carrieri.
On the 18, knocked down by Klein, but couldn't do anything, and the ball pushed outside the 18 of the near wing. Wolfolk pass ahead for Kirk Wilson, bounced away off the leg of Wilson and out of bounds, and a throw in on the near side for the Battery from about 45 yards out. Jensen with the throw in, off to Evans, chips it down inside the 18. Zagar out, but that's headed away, and Valencia scores. Zagar coming out for the ball. He did not get up high enough. Valencia just inside the 18, hits it inside the left post, and the Battery draw first blood early on and lead 1-0.
Zagar just held his run a little too long there. He started coming for the ball. A split-second stop. That gave Valencia enough time just to beat the keeper to the ball and redirect it into the empty net there. Zagar just a split-second behind there. Valencia makes him pay the price.
28 Gabe Valencia with the assistant number 2, Henrik Jensen. It's Valencia from Jensen in the 6th minute.
Valencia scoring his first in Open Cup play. Ryan Trout on a hard tackle taken down. The foul is called, and the Rhinos will have the restart from 10 yards out off the right wing side. It's just outside the far end of the box. The Rhinos trailing 1-0.
Valencia playing outside midfield that time, floating inside for the cross from Jensen and making the Rhinos pay there. So a unique position for Valencia, but so far looks pretty solid out there.
Now they make Chakiris move the ball back to about 15 yards out. Again, this is off the right wing side. He's a left-footed kicker, so an in-swinging kick. 7th minute and a 1-0 Battery lead. Rhinos trying to get the wall moved back. The linesman finally coming over and pushing the two-man wall back. Referee Augustus Sansilva. The linesman C.J. Morganti and Jeffrey Mellon. And the fourth is Vito Testa Jr. Here's Chakiris with the service for the back post, and it skips through and out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Battery. This is Rhinos broadcast brought to you all season long by those including Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. Connolly Printing, 108 years of experience. Tunes by Todd, DJ service for all your entertainment needs. Go to tunesbytodd.com. Also brought to you by Webster Chrysler Jeep at 2111 Empire Boulevard in Webster. Hudak, high floater through midfield on the goal kick. Headed away by John Wilson to the midfield line and then chipped along the near wing but out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Battery scoring first and now have outscored the opposition, 4 goals to none in Open Cup play. 2 shutouts in the first 2 games for Dusty Hudak. Mendez puts it away off the leg of Mendez and out of bounds and on the far side to throw in for the Rhinos. Mendez throw in to Chakiris. On the midfield line, he'll drop it back to his own side of midfield. Demon, 1 touch to the outside on the far wing for Dave Wright. Now long delivery downfield, trying to get under it Fuller. That's headed away and played out the near wing by Watson. Back at midfield on the near side, John Wilson after it. Sliding in, it's tipped away and out of bounds off of Chronopolis. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Nifty little touch right there by John Wilson, just barely touching it right into the leg of Chronopolis.
Smart play.
As he's sliding out of bounds, he takes the ball with him.
And he wants to show well tonight against his former mates here, the Charleston Battery.
That's played by Demon back inside of his 18. Zagar has the first time it high in the air, coming down to the midfield line. Nodded into the middle, popped up in the air. Martinez, as that's headed forward by Valencia, but settled by Wright, and the Rhinos have it. Right from his own 30, pass out to the midfield line for Kirk Wilson, chips it ahead, trying to get underneath it. No, Nigel Henry is back to play it aside. Trout heads it away, and moving up with the ball is Mendez on the right wing. Looks for the cross along the 18. It's tipped off of Wilson out to the end line and scooped up by Hudak. 9th minute, and it is a 1-0 Charleston lead.
It's good to see Mendez, though, getting involved in the attack here, playing right back. Now he's pushing deep into Charleston territory. Rhinos trail by 1, but plenty of time to make something happen and come back.
Headed away by Demon out to the midfield circle. Fuller, 1 touch off to Kirk Wilson. Looks to the right wing side, opens it up. Moving up, Trout trying to be Valencia to the ball. Valencia gets back first, plays it to the end line and into the keeper, and Hudak will first touch it out to near midfield. Mendez heads it along the 35 in the middle. Picked up, carried away by Chronopolis. Rolls it to the outside on the left wing for Evans as he's challenged from behind by Kirk Wilson. Evans spinning from side to side, looking to get away. Now across midfield on the left wing. Still has the ball, and nice control. Sends it cross field, but John Wilson's there to nod it away. However, nobody on the near wing, and it's out of bounds. Throw it on the near side for the Battery to be taken by Jensen. A 26-year-old from Denmark. On throw-in, Demon pops that one up in the air, coming down 30 yards out, and Trout heads it back to near midfield. Fuller knocks it down to the center circle, turns with the ball, rolls it up the wing, but back is Henry to knock it away. And to Watson, who plays it back to the keeper, and Hudak will have the first time it away. He sends a floater through midfield. Off in the far wing, Mendez hits it forward, but gave a little bit of a push on Martinez, so the whistle blows on the foul, and a restart for the Battery just across midfield.
That's kind of a picky call there by St. Silva. I thought Mendez maybe had a little contact there, but now the Battery, with these big guys up front, all these balls that are sorted in the box, we saw the goal, always putting the Rhinos under pressure.
At the midfield line, Rick Titus with a restart. Low drive, but that's headed away by Chakiris. Heads it to the outside on the near wing, and chasing it back to the midfield line is Jensen. On the right side, chips it down in the middle, and stepping in is Dave Wright. Shanked it off the outside of his foot wide, and that out across the midfield line and the touchline on the far side. So a throw in for the Battery. Titus goes short on the throw into Valencia. Spins it up the left wing side, but into the stands, out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos from their own 30 on the far side of the field.
And with this style of play, Wilson and Chakiris are bypassed a lot as Charleston plays a lot of high balls into the Rhinos box. Rochester's got to be very sensitive to get those guys involved in the attack.
Out of midfield, chip down to the Rhino 18. John Wilson back as he's battling Chronopolis, and Wilson spins away with the ball, gets tied up, it's pulled off of him, and now Klein plays it down inside the 18 at one bounce. It's picked up by Zagar. So the Rhino keeper has the ball. We're in the 12th minute and a 1-0 lead for Charleston. The Battery scoring back in the 6th minute. Gabe Valencia with his first goal of Open Cup play this season. Former Rhino. And Jensen picking up his first assist. First point of the Open Cup. That's headed away. Flick on by Fuller down inside the 18 and one bounce to Hudak. So the Charleston Battery keeper, again, who had shutouts in the first two games of Open Cup play, has his team up 1-0, and by virtue of past history, they've scored enough to win.
Yeah, it's the big shock was the Metro Stars 1-0 victory. You look at the Eastern Conference, Metro Stars are in first place, but out of the US Open Cup to a last place A-League team, so surprising stuff there.
That's into the center circle. Valencia plays it off with the near wing, but stepping up, John Wilson comes away. Across the left wing side on the attack, being chased from behind, trying to sneak it to the outside, ball knocked down, but he spins back with it, has it again to Kirk Wilson into the center circle for Shakiris. He'll switch it to the outside on the right wing for Mendez, moving up on the play, down to the 30, pass off on the far wing, and feeds it ahead, pass in the middle to Fuller, drops it back to the outside for Mendez. Plays it back toward midfield. Shakiris looking for the through ball, but deflected away. Skipped by Klein, and the Rhinos have it again. Kirk Wilson turns it upfield. Down to the 25 off of the near wing. Drops it to the outside of the near wing for John Wilson. He turns toward the middle, being watched by Chronopolis. Pass in the middle for Shakiris. Trying to get away from Conway. Tripped up and taken down. The foul is called. And the Rhinos will have the kick from 25, 28 yards out, almost in the middle of the field.
Dangerous position, but this whole free kick results from Rochester playing the ball on the ground. Patient build-up. Not playing to the strength of the Charleston Battery, which was in the air. So a dangerous opportunity here from playing the ball on the ground.
Shakiris placing the ball. Carrieri is also there. By the way, Chris Carrieri wants to pass along a hello to his family tonight. Says hi. He's doing fine.
Playing great on the field, folks. Got a great restart. Hopefully he'll put one in the back of the net for the family listening back in Virginia.
Sun setting in behind has turned the downtown buildings to a beautiful shade of red.
Beautiful.
What a pretty night. Shakiris dummies the ball. Carrieri for the shot. Tip. Oh, it just missed the upper left corner. It hit something in the wall. Headed for the upper left corner, but a foot high and wide.
Carrieri initially going to the left of Hudak. The deflection cut. Hudak flat-footed. Couldn't get over, but it just sent wide of the bar there. Almost a little luck for the Rhinos and Chris Carrieri.
Shakiris places the ball off the left wing side, out swinging kick, service in the box. Hudak up in the air. His 6 comes down with the ball. So the keeper for the Battery gets in the way of the cross. 15th minute, 1-0, Charleston with the lead. Volley kick through midfield. That one, a flick on by Martinez. Roller inside the 18, scooped up by Zagar, and the Rhino keeper has the ball. Rochester will be here Friday night to take on the Syracuse Salty Dogs. Friday night here, and then on Sunday night, guess who's back?
And Charleston goes home to play Richmond Friday, then back to Rochester on Sunday. So it's an interesting travel arrangement.
Demon off the left side to Woolfolk, checking back for the ball into the center circle for Shakiris, switching to the outside on the right wing for Mendez at the midfield line. As he's watched by Martinez, sneaks a pass through to Fuller, tried to volley it ahead, but knocked away. Mendez recovers the ball to midfield. Center circle for Shakiris, to the outside, back on the near wing this time for John Wilson. His pass ahead for Woolfolk, checking back, drops it off of the midfield line for Wilson, in the middle for Shakiris. Moves it ahead, being watched by Conway. Still has it to the outside of the near wing for Wilson. Drops it to his own side of midfield for Demon. In the center circle, long to the right wing side. Underneath it, headed away, and it's Kirk Wilson to knock it to the outside for Trout. Hops it up in the air, deep in the far corner. Fuller, cross along inside, the far to the 18. Wilson, the end line, stirs. Toss back at Chuck Carrier, shoots. Hit the crossbar! He hit the crossbar, and it comes way out to the 30. Man, oh man, and the ball now is hammered out through midfield. Beautiful setup by Kirk Wilson. Carrieri had the number. That hits the crossbar, and it comes out of the near wing back at the 35, where it's taken down by John Wilson. Drawing it forward. Wilson down to the 25 and in the middle. His pass off to Carrieri. To the right. Fuller. Return pass. Knocked away as Carrieri jumped in the middle, and the yellow card is issued to Watson.
Watson taking down Carrieri. Dangerous position, but earlier, Kirk Wilson with Mark Watson all over his back did a wonderful job to shield off the player and then spin towards the goal and laid it off neatly for Carrieri, who blasted one off the crossbar. But excellent, excellent work from Kirk Wilson on that far side.
Wow. Well, Rhinos have trouble scoring. We're likely to remember that one.
As soon as Wilson made the turn, you knew there was going to be trouble as he was looking right at the Charleston goal.
Well, there's about a 75-man wall just inside the 18 right now. How do you get by that?
And it's a big wall. Again, Charleston has very tall players, take up a lot of space on the field. Makes it seem like it's very packed out there with both sides.
Ball placed 25 yards out directly in the middle of the field. Shakiris with the left foot goes forward, and it's into the midsection of Hudak as it is Shakiris went for the left side.
If you put a wall up the size of the Charleston Batteries, Hudak doesn't have much space to cover in the goal. Perfect positioning there on the strike from Shakiris.
So it's still a 1-0 lead for the Battery. As Hudak sends a low line drive kick through midfield, headed up in the air by Wright. Back forward as Klein heads it forward, but getting underneath it is Mendez. Volleys it out to midfield. Fuller flicks that one in the air. Then he's run over from behind by Titus. And the foul is called. The Rhinos have the restart from their own side of midfield.
Titus just sending a message early on to Ian Fuller, who's been out for 15 games. Titus, this is the summer tour for him, playing in Edmonton and Toronto, and finally landing with Charleston here in 2004.
His pass ahead by Shakir is picked off on the Battery with it, spinning around Conway. Now triple teamed, and John Wilson comes back to steal it away from his former teammate. And it's blocked off his foot by Jensen, and the Rhinos up with it. Demon with the left foot sends a floater down to the 20. Carrieri behind, but couldn't get away. And the ball pushed out on the near wing. Underneath it, Evans. Long up the right side, but Demon, bounced away from him, and Conway has it. Turns up the right wing, down to the near corner of the box, and Demon gets back. Gets in the way, and Conway goes to the corner. Looking for the cross, puts it off the leg of Demon out over the end line. And a corner kick for the Battery.
I didn't have a chance to see Demon play against Minnesota or Syracuse, but down in Virginia, even though they were outscored 7-1, Craig Demon, I thought, was at his best in 2004. Tremendous job on Jeffrey and Dante Washington. Just unfortunate that the supporting cast wasn't there for Craig on the trip.
Corner kick off the right wing side. Ted Chronopoulos is a right-footed kicker, so an outswinging delivery. And here comes the service high into the box and headed out of the box on the far side. Knocked down. Klein kept it in, but Demon boots it away. And the rolling ball out of bounds on the far side, out about 35 yards.
The Battery coming in here tonight. Every time they come to Rochester, it's a style of play we haven't seen in years. It's old English soccer, long ball up to the big forward. Look for him to bang it up in there and maybe drop to another guy coming off. But it's an old style that Chris Ramsey likes to use in Charleston.
Floater down inside the 18, headed up in the air by Kirk Wilson. Underneath it, Fuller heads it in the air, and at the far end of the box, Trout nods it away out of the box. There's a shot in, but blocked away, and Shakiris now long, high, pop up downfield. Watson knocked it down with his arm. No call, and the ball played back into Rhino territory. Spins away from Mendez as he and Martinez go to the far corner. Mendez after it in the corner, stops it, puts it away off the leg of Martinez and out. But no call. It was knocked down. Everybody in the place knew it except for the referee.
And the Rhinos defenders maybe even stopped there, but the referee's assistant on the far side was right with the play in a great position to make the call. We played on.
Well, down in the far corner, Trout taking down Martinez, escapes with the ball to the corner. Looking for the cross, low and stopped at the far end of the 6 by Wright, who then turns and sends it out to midfield. Henry steps up. Now it's pushed downfield, Kirk Wilson. And the rolling ball down to the 25, but Hudak is out. And first times it away, puts it into the stands to the far side of the field. So the Rhinos have a throw in from their own 35 on the far side. To be taken by Mendez. Runs about 10 yards, then the throw in across midfield. Titus back with the left foot, pops it up across midfield. That's a flick on by Conway, pushed to the outside, and back for Mendez as he and Martinez battle. Mendez pushed down, but gets back up, has the ball again. Drops it off to the end line for Demon, and with the right foot plays it out to midfield. Titus volleying it forward. That's knocked away back to midfield area, then chipped through midfield by Watson. Right back for the Rhinos, heads it out to near midfield once again as Titus moves over and heads it into the stands. Throw in for the Rhinos on the far side of the field. 21st minute of Frontier Field. And it's a 1-0 Charleston lead.
And Charleston content at this point with the 1-0 lead to knock it deep into Rochester territory. See what they can come up with. Rochester's got to bring a little more of the game here to the Charleston Battery.
Right back to the middle. And is 25. Demon plays it out to near midfield for Shakiris and across midfield. As Fuller's dumped from behind by Titus once again. And it'll be another free kick for the Rhinos, this time about 45 yards out, a little bit to the right of center.
The second foul on Titus from behind on Ian Fuller. So if this continues, maybe the card starts coming out for Titus. And Fuller's doing a good job just standing in there, taking the punishment from Titus.
Here's Shakiris, will serve it up. Chips it down inside, moving it. Fuller, he couldn't reach it. Just couldn't reach it for the head ball. About a foot too far ahead as Fuller stretched out along the 6, but just couldn't get the head on it.
That was a great service from Shakiris. Fuller, I think maybe a little surprised that it was so accurate and unable to get that head on it there, as Hudak would have been easily beaten.
Out place to the 6, and the goal kick for the Battery. Chipped across midfield. Long floater coming down to the Rhino 30 and flicked on by Conway, but John Wilson couldn't clear it away. Martinez settles it near into the box. Back heel moving in. Chronopoulos checking back to steal it away at the end line. John Wilson, great job by Wilson. Wow.
I tell you. Saves a goal without a doubt. Chronopoulos thought he was clear after a nice back heel from Martinez. Took way too much time inside the 18, and Wilson, with that blazing speed, able to knock it away at the corner of the 6.
Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Bill Gray's with 13 locations in Rochester, Hollywood Tans, the official tanning provider of the Rhinestones, Harrow East Athletic Club, on the web at harroweast.com, and Total Wireless Now, communication without limitations. Ball chipped ahead. Demon is back. He gets tied up along with Conway. Ball knocked down. Demon plays it for Shakiris out on the near wing, and John Wilson sends it up the left wing side. Henry heads it in the air. Bouncing ball. Watson back with the left foot, will volley it out through midfield. John Wilson again volleys it the other way into Charleston territory, bouncing away, and Henry pops it up in the air. Carrieri and Evans go to the corner for the ball. Evans nods it into the corner. Carrieri after can't get to it, and the ball played along the near wing out to near midfield. Wilson heads it in the air, but a bump by John Wilson, and the foul is called, and a restart for the Battery.
A little forearm in the back. And speaking of the Rhinestones, they're proud to announce their dance and cheerleading camp on Sunday, August 8th. Call the Rhinos office to register today, or go to rhinosoccer.com. So Rhinestones dance camp on Sunday, August the 8th.
And are you the instructor of that one?
I think Soccer Sam's taking over this year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Ball is chipped down inside the 18, headed away and out by Wright for Kirk Wilson. He'll lay it to the outside of the right wing as Trout runs onto the ball. Now long service up the right side. Fuller trying to get back along with Watson, who heads it away. And Titus takes it at his own 25 and will volley one through midfield. Wright heads it up in the air, coming down to the center circle. Shakir is turning back for the ball as he's bumped away. It bounces loose, and Shakir is grabbed onto it, spins away with the ball, still has it, pulls it across midfield. Feed forward to Kirk Wilson, trying to sneak it through. He had Carrieri breaking, but the ball is knocked away. Pass across midfield, taken again by the Rhinos. Demon lays it out on the left wing side for John Wilson. Cross midfield, sneaks a pass through to Woolfolk. Turns to his left, still has the ball. Feeds it ahead, Wilson overlapping on the outside. Pass in the middle. Carrieri slipped and couldn't get to it. And the ball knocked away at the 20. Pushed to the outside of the near wing. Stepping up again, John Wilson intercepts. They'll roll it ahead. Inside to the 18 for Woolfolk, but picked off his foot by Jensen. He falls down, but still able to kick it out of bounds on the near side.
I think Wilson just turned his back for a split second there as Jensen fell down, but you can see Coach Erickley's game plan. Very smart tonight. Don't play to their strengths in the air. Keep it on the ground. Knock it around. Try to get behind these big, tall defenders.
Ryan Trout over for the throw in out the left wing side. His delivery down to the 6. That one's knotted in on goal to the keeper. Hudak up with the ball off his own defender, Henry. And Henry, when he's up in the air, he's a long way up there.
And Hudak's had a pretty busy first half. A lot of touches on the ball. I'm sure many more touches than Chris Ramsey wants to see his keeper have here in the first half.
Evans pass to the center circle. No help there. Nigel Henry brings it forward, looking to chip it through, and he does. Couple of bounces down inside the 18 where Zagar grabs the ball. The keeper for the Rhinos will take the volley kick through midfield. Floater coming down to the 35. Fuller heads it to the outside. Running onto the ball is Carrieri. Up the right wing. Valencia chasing. Across along the 6, but Titus is there to head it away and up into the stands on the far side. 25th minute, 1-0 lead for the Battery. Down with the throw in as Fuller all tangled up. No call is made. The ball is pushed all the way out to the 35 for Conway. Spins it out through midfield. Time to Mendez out to the 20. Corner of the box. Down in front. Flick on by Fuller, but out the near side. Side volley kick Trout, and he's about 5 feet, maybe 8 feet high over the crossbar on the shot.
Good effort there from Trout, the former member of the Battery. I think he's excited after scoring a goal on Friday against Minnesota as he plays right midfield. That time all the way on the near side, on the left side here, striking the right-footed volley.
So it'll be a goal kick for the Battery. Other sponsors of tonight's broadcast include Chase Pitkin with a lifetime tool warranty for all tools purchased at Chase Pitkin. By Kimberly-Clark, a proud sponsor of the Rhinos. By Myers RV in Churchville, just off 5490. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Rhino territory. It's flicked aside by Demon. And up with it, Trout giving it off to Kirk Wilson. Moves up the right wing, but Evans bumping him as he turns it along into the middle. Trout dropping it back. Shakiris one touch to the outside for Mendez. Up the right wing. Now sends the line drive kick downfield. In behind Fuller trying to get to it. Has the keeper Hudak out diving in on the ball and has it. Well, another very acrobatic move on the part of Dusty. Hudak has been all over that 18-yard box.
He's got to come off his line there as Fuller is streaking in, but again, the ball's getting behind the defense here. It'll be a matter of time, hopefully, before Rochester connects.
That's inside the Rhino 18, and out to grab it on one hop is Zagar. Push ahead, Shakiris from his 35, rolls it to his left, taken by Demon, feeds it ahead, Kirk Wilson, one touch back in the middle, Shakiris along his 35, switching to the outside of the right wing for Mendez, and he sends it across midfield, but shanks it out of bounds. Throw in for the battery at midfield on the far side. Valencia with the throw in. Knocked down, his right gets tangled up with Conway, play goes on. Shakiris pass ahead, Kirk Wilson, one touch right back to Shakiris. He'll drop it off along his 35 in the middle for Demon. To the outside on the near wing for John Wilson. Brings it forward into the center circle. Gives it off. Shakiris takes a look downfield. Long chip up the left wing side. Running onto the ball goes Carrieri as he gives a tug on Nigel Henry, who grabs the ball at the near end of the box. Carrieri steals it away, but Henry takes it right back. Now double team on the ball. Knocked away, comes out the near side, and John Wilson steps in. Rolls it off in the middle, 45 yards out to Shakiris. Center circle pass ahead for Kirk Wilson. Turns back, drops it off Shakiris. Return pass to Wilson, but not enough on it. That one blocked away by Shakiris, then popped up in the air, through midfield and off of the far side. Martinez and Mendez both with the ball out of bounds.
Seeing a very high work rate from Chris Carrieri, trying to get around the huge wingspan of Nigel Henry, but never quit on the play. Almost making something happen for the Rhinos.
In the center circle, Shakiris rolls it out of the near wing, ahead of the left wing side. Brought forward by John Wilson. Sneaks it through to Woolfolk. Turns, looks in the middle, 20 yards out with the right foot, takes a shot. Oh, a floater just up over the crossbar. He had a little downward bend on that one. It might have been in, but Hudak, did he touch it? Evidently not. So it is a goal kick, because that was about 2 feet high of the crossbar.
Man, when he struck the ball, you just heard the crack as it came off his foot there. Is right at Hudak, a little high there, but what pace on the shot from Corey Woolfolk.
Well, Hudak doing his best of wasting time. Goes to one end of the 6-yard box, throws the ball away, then he goes down to the other 6-yard end, picks up a ball, then he brings it all the way back down to this end again.
He's getting slack right now. He's getting shot after shot. He's got to regroup, get his defense in order, and also get his thoughts together. He's taken quite a beating here in the first half.
30th minute, 1-0 Charleston lead. Demon heads it in the air, but out of bounds on the near side.
Although Rochester is pressuring, the score is still 1-0, so a lot of work here to do for the Rhinos.
Long throw in by Jensen down to the 18. There it's headed away by Wilson on the near side, out of bounds. Always worries me when you get so much pressure, but you can't capitalize. That how many times in the history of sports have we seen where that really comes back to haunt you?
Soccer is a game that's notorious for that. One team dominates, so many chances, doesn't score. Their team one chance, makes the most of it.
There's Evans with the left foot, but he'll shank that off the outside of his foot. And he doesn't even make it to the end line. It rolls to the touchline on the far side, about 15 yards out. Throw in for the Rhinos. Mendez walks forward 5 yards, then runs forward another 10, and finally takes the throw in to the outside. And Fuller puts it away off the leg of the defender and out, so it'll be a throw in for the Rhinos in midfield. High floater up the right wing side. Watson back, heads it away into the stands. Another throw in for the Rhinos, this time 35 yards out on the far side.
Early in the season, Trout and Fuller were connecting on the long throw-ins, but Wilson takes it instead.
Off the right side to Wilson. Draws it away from Martinez. Still has the ball. Passing to the middle for Shakiris. Draws it forward. Sneaks the ball through to Carrieri. Then he's dumped right back to Shakiris. Lays it to the outside, and the ball out of bounds. No whistle as Carrieri dumps hard in the middle of the field again.
And Fuller's also down. They're taking a lot of shots from behind, but the referee just not making the calls on.
Fuller's yelling at the linesman on the far side. Carrieri's working over the referee. Fuller slow getting up as he was checking around his back, the small of his back.
And Titus, the only Charleston defender in the immediate area of Fuller when he went down. But Fuller's pointing over to the referee's assistant, telling him to have a word with him.
That will have a throw in on the near side of the field for the Battery from their own 20 on the near side.
Titus gets a bit of a verbal warning from the official.
And here's the throw in. Fuller now gives Titus a bit of his own warning. That's a mix-up, and the ball off of right and out, and so a throw in at near midfield on the near side for the Battery. Jensen to take the throw in. Henrik Jensen throws it in down to the 18. Demon and Conway, and Demon pushing it away. Shakiris in the middle for Kirk Wilson, but it bounced away from him, taken by Martinez. As they spin around, Martinez trying to get loose and does. Off the right side, near into the box for Chronopolis. Turns back to his right, cross, and that's high in the air but blocked away. Out of the 18, and John Wilson then will pound it in the air out to midfield. Fuller knocked it down, but Titus comes away with the ball. Now he'll leave it off, and now it's pushed up the right side, but Chronopolis in behind and an offside against the Battery.
Jesus Martinez, the Paraguayan, nice young player. He's the crafty, creative player. He lets Conway do the bull work, the dirty work up top. He looks to create off of the hard work of Paul Conway.
Wright brings it forward, approaching midfield. Long chip up the right wing side. Running onto the ball is Trout. Gets his foot on it, tips it along the touchline, but Valencia now Trout takes it away. His 5 yards out, end line, cross in the middle. Carrieri tried to settle the ball to feet, but knocked it down. Shakira's back. Rolling ball in. It's deflected wide and out over the end line, and a goal kick. So the Rhinos coming close again, unable to finish this time, not really even getting a shot away.
You know, Trout did a great job on the far side. Granted, the ball was a little in the air. Carrieri's got to do his best to strike it one time. The second time now, Rochester's had a great chance in the box, but taking one too many touches.
Yeah, as he tried to settle the ball to feet, it had spin on it, so it bounced the wrong direction. Cleared across midfield, headed in the air, back into the middle, moving in as Demon, up in the air, nods it to the outside for Wright, with the left foot, tried to volley it ahead, but that hit a body, knocked down, and finally Shakiris in the center circle, but he's double-teamed and it's knocked away. Taken back by the Battery. Evans with the left foot, chips it ahead, bouncing ball down inside the 18, third hop, and it's picked up by Zagar. Rhino keeper with the ball, will right-footed across midfield. Underneath it, Fuller couldn't get up high enough, and it's headed back to midfield. Turned again to Rhino territory by Klein as he sneaks by Kirk Wilson, looking for the through ball, but Demon takes it away. Rhinos have it, pass forward to Woolfolk, having to check back. Drops it off for John Wilson, sends it up through midfield for Kirk Wilson. He'll make that Fuller. On the near wing for Carrieri, in the middle for Fuller once again. Turns, spins to his right, sneaks it through in the center circle for Kirk Wilson, drops it off for Shakiris. To the outside, up the right wing, Mendez moving down to the 30. On the right wing, cross along the 18, but Titus heads it away out to the 35. Picked up again by Shakiris. Rolls it back at midfield for John Wilson, into the center circle for Wright. 35th minute, 1-0 lead for Charleston. Wright's pass deflected away, down to the 20, and Titus will volley it out through midfield. Wright heads it to the outside, after it goes Mendez. Tips it ahead up the right wing, rolling ball on the far touchline. Titus is back, and then pounds it away out to midfield. Settled there by Conway, but taken away again by Wright. In the middle, down to the 35. Sneaks toward the middle. Wright still has it in the middle. The 25. Turns, sneaks it through. The ball blocked away inside the 18. Rolling to the end line, and Hudak up with it. And end-to-end run right there by Dave Wright, the defender.
He's doing a great job. And the Rhinos are not having a bad first half. It's just a matter of finishing. They're creating chances. They're passing the ball nice. Just in that final third, getting that shot on goal.
Long ball through midfield, blocked away out of bounds off Conway. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. From their own 40, 36th minute, 1-0 lead for the Battery. John Wilson, former Charleston player of last year, along with Ryan Trout. They were there for the championship last year. As foul is called on Fuller, as he knocks Jensen down, and the foul is called, and a restart for the Battery from their own 45 on the near side.
That's a little payback from Fuller, although it's not Titus. It's anyone in red, as Fuller's been taking a beating. Now he starts to dish out some of his own medicine.
Titus with the left foot sends it through midfield, but no help on the near side as it's out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. John Wilson quickly on the throw in across midfield. Fuller getting to the ball, touching it, keeping it in, pass in the middle, and that sneaks by. Woolfolk couldn't get to it. Titus again sends it through midfield, sliding into the ball, knocked away by John Wilson, and then Devon switching to the outside of the right wing for Mendez. Roller through midfield for Carrieri. Turns back, trying to get away from Titus. Sneaks it to the outside. Mendez return pass in the middle for Shakiris. Drawing it into the center circle. Rolls it off on the near wing, and John Wilson across the midfield line. Back into the center circle. Shakiris sends it up the near wing. Fuller taken down by Nigel Henry, and it'll be a restart, a free kick for the Rhinos, 22 yards out off the left wing side.
And Henry's furious with the call. I don't know how he can be upset. is clearly taking Fuller down from behind. Another dangerous restart for the Rhinos here in the first half.
37th minute, Rhinos trending 1-0. Chikira's quick start, down in front, headed away out the far end of the box. Given a roar along the 6th, but that one booted away also. Out the far side, Trout up, Lookfoot, he takes a crack at it and puts it wide out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Battery. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Blueberry Hill, upscale apartment living, a Faber community. Marina Dodge at 943 Ridge Road in Webster. And by Dunkin' Donuts, located throughout the Rochester area.
You're keeping stats here in the first half. What do you have for shots for Rochester?
I have 8-1.
That's amazing.
Through midfield, Demon hits it back across midfield, knocked down a handball right in front of the referee and no call. Unbelievable. All the way down to the 18 and right heads to the side out the near wing. Settled by Evans with the right foot, goes to the far end of the box. Valencia's in behind, offside flag in the air. He couldn't get to the ball anyway. Out over the end line, but a free kick for the Rhinos.
These handballs that are not getting called at times seem to fall right in favor of Charleston, and then put Rochester
right in front of the referee, right on the right side of the body. He saw it all the way.
I think Franco Doy talking to the fourth official, trying to soften him up and have him see things his way.
Zagar lights it out through midfield. Fuller looking for the flick on. That's up the right side after goes Trout. Down to the 15. Chips across along the 6. And hit it away out over the end line by Jensen. So a corner kick for the Rhinos off the left wing side.
And the corner kick is a result of Ian Fuller going up in the air with two Charleston defenders. Wins the ball. Creates some space for Trout on the far side. That's why he's in there, to do the big dirty work up front.
You know, I do see a difference in the game already with him back in lineup.
There were so many balls that without Fuller in there, Rochester never challenged.
Shakira serves it up off the left wing side. High floater to the backdoor side. Flicked out the far end of the box, and Tug gets to it to settle it. Down to the 5, cross in front, and that's off a boot. Up in the air, coming down the goal line, and Hudak comes down with the ball as Wolfolk was right in underneath him.
Yeah, it's going to take some time for Fuller to get the legs back. It's going to be a fitness thing for him. But you nailed it on the head. There's definitely a difference with him back in the lineup.
Ball flighted through midfield. A big bouncer down inside the 18. One big hop to Zagar.
One of the longest punts I've seen here at Frontier Field.
Zagar goes the other way, down to the 35, and that's headed back to the midfield. High tight as Kirk Wilson tips it ahead for Fuller. Heads it to the outside. Trout slipped and went down. And the ball carried away by Valencia. On the left wing through midfield. Lead pass to Martinez, rolling on the far touchline as Mendez will pass it. That's Mendez getting the ball. And now it's played away in the far wing and carried off by Shakiris. Out to midfield for Trout, or make that for Fuller. Rolls it to the outside on the near wing. Up on the left wing is John Wilson. Sneaks it ahead on the near side, trying to get through. Ball blocked away and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Battery from their own 40. Nice slide tackle by Jensen.
It's been a good matchup with Jensen and John Wilson. Both players like to push up into the attack, and it's gone both ways with those guys.
Jensen told to back up by the referee.
And it'll be fine for him to waste some more time with that.
Here's the throw in through midfield. Floated over Wilson. Demon flicks it, but didn't get enough on it. Knocked down, and Mendez will cover up. From his 25, chips one through midfield. Up the left wing side for Carrieri. Bounced away off his leg and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Battery from their own 30. Jensen will take the throw in. 41st minute, 1-0 lead for Charleston. Long throw in through midfield. As Chronopolis had it knocked away, then he dumps John Wilson, no call. Pass toward the middle, Martinez drops it into the center circle for Klein. His feet to the left side, Valencia. One touch ahead for Martinez, return pass to the outside. As Valencia knocks it down inside the far end of the 18, takes a shot, rolling ball across the goal mouth, comes out the near side, and rolls out over the end line, and a corner kick for the Battery.
I think Zagar got his left shin to the ball, as Valencia and Mendez, just a physical battle there, won by Gabe Valencia. And it's a corner of the 6, a tough angle, but still put it on the frame.
Well, it is a corner kick off the right wing side. Chronopolis, right-footed kicker, so an out-swinging kick. Serves it low into the box, and it's headed out the far end and coming outside the 18. Underneath it, Carrieri beating Klein to the ball on the far wing. Slows it up, drops it back to Mendez from his 20. Then a long chip up the right wing side, but headed into Rhino territory again on the outside of the far wing. Kept in play by the Battery, pushed toward the middle, and Devin steps in to take it away. Rolling ball tipped aside, but Klein recovering it for the Battery at midfield, and just knocked it out of bounds. Throw in the far side for the Rhinos near midfield. Again, we're in the 42nd minute, and it is a 1-0 Charleston lead.
Getting a good look at the combination of Carrieri and Fuller with some time to gel and some time in training. be the matchup that Coach Erkley's been looking for.
Played into the middle for Wright. Numbers 35, touching it ahead for Shakiris. Turning back to the outside for Demon along his 35. Takes a look downfield, looking for the long bomb, and here's the service. Off the right wing side, Woolfolk can't get to it. Titus blocks it away and out of bounds. Throwing for the Rhinos, 25 yards out off the right wing side. Kirk Wilson goes for the throw into Trout, checking back for the ball. Trout up the right wing, going to the corner. Tried to cross, but blocked away out over the end line by Titus, and a corner kick for the Rhinos.
Trout with the ball at his feet, very tricky. He's got pace, able to step around defenders, and a little deceiving there, but able to win the corner kick here for the Rhinos.
Fifth corner of the half for the Rhinos.
That's a huge chunk.
And Shakiris with the left side. High into the box. Demon nods it back in front, but right to Titus, who volleys it in the air and out near midfield. Big bounce coming down to the near side of midfield. Wilson tried to turn it to the outside, but knocked away out of bounds off of Conway. He's so crafty with that ball.
A lot of corner kicks here in the first half, but the quality of the service, not exactly where it needs to be just yet.
John Wilson going short to Kirk Wilson in the throw-in. Back to the midfield line for Demon. Low line drive kick downfield. Fuller chested inside the 18, but Henry's back. Knocks it away on the near wing, and up with it, John Wilson. On the near touchline. Sneaks it toward the middle for Kirk Wilson. Through ball to Woolfolk, but blocked away by Klein and carried off. To Chronopolis from the 35. Moves it out to the midfield line. Off the right wing, getting to it is Conway. And to the Rhino 20, and a high ball floater is out over the net and out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Rhinos.
Charleston, they're going to just try a little counterattack here. They're up 1-0. If Rochester gives them some space, they'll attack. Otherwise, they'll sit back and try to sneak out of Rochester with the 1-0 win.
Shakiris draws it forward, turns it to the outside of the right wing for Mendez. 44th minute. Long service downfield. One bounce inside the 18, grabbed onto by Hudak. Battery keeper has the ball, still going shutout. Victory so far. He shut out the opposition all the way in Open Cup play.
Take the crossbar for one of those tonight.
Downfield, Mendez heads it away back to near midfield. Klein settles it off the chest, then volleys it down to the Rhino 18. That hit the back of Conway, knocked away, getting to it right. We'll pound it away on the near side, but the ball out of bounds at midfield on the near side. Throw in for the Battery. Jensen. Long run with a high throw in coming down to the 18. That one headed away. On top, coming back for the ball, it's Shakiris. And Demon then, but it's deflected away, knocked down to the 35. Klein pops it up in the air. Out of the far wing. Valencia, low roller in, missed the net. Wide by 20 feet. Or 35 feet maybe wide.
Not sure what
over the end line.
His intention there, maybe a cross looking for Chronopolis or the big striker Paul Conway. But at this point, Valencia trying to make something happen. Putting it on the frame.
1 minute of stoppage time indicated by the fourth official. As the clock nearing the 45-minute mark, and the ball headed through the center circle. Turning back for Martinez to the outside. Valencia sends it through midfield into Rhino territory, and Wright is back. From his 35 on the far touchline, chips it through midfield. Titus gets to it, pops it up in the air. Off of the far wing, Valencia nods it across midfield, but puts it out of bounds on the far side. Throw it to midfield for the Rhinos, and the long throw in. That's settled, but tipped away again. Martinez rolls it across midfield for Conway. Checking back, chips it down along to the 25, and turning back goes Demon. Rolls it down inside of his 18 to his keeper, and Zagar has it. Last time these two teams met, 2 weeks ago here, Rhino snuck out a 1-0 victory. Long head ball, Kirk Wilson able to flick it on, but back is Watson, pounds it up in the air into the stands on the far side. Throw in for the Rhinos. 20 yards out. Here's the throw in inside the box. Fuller trying to get to it. Flick on along the 6. As Carrieri coming back, couldn't get to it. And the ball again pounded out of the far wing out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos, this time 35 yards out. Mendez with a throw in to Shakiris. Trying to sneak through as he's double teamed the ball, taken away. It's picked up and a pass ahead of midfield. Martinez on the attack. Kirk Wilson slides in, takes him down. The foul is called. Free kick for the Battery at midfield. Nearing the stop of the first half of play.
And Martinez, the 20-year-old from Paraguay, crafty little player with the ball at his feet. That time just trying to get by Kirk Wilson, taken down for the foul there, but adds a nice creative element to the Charleston Battery side.
Takes his time. He'll be happy to go to the locker room with a 1-0 lead. As the ball chipped down inside the 18, that's flicked on to the end line and out over the end line, and there's the whistle to win the first half. Well, I guess it would be safe to say that the Rhinos outplayed the Battery in the first half, but trail 1-0. That's where we are now at halftime here at Frontier Field. It is the Charleston Battery 1 and the Rochester Raging Rhinos nothing. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Here at Frontier Field, we've completed one half, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Charleston Battery. Time now for the first half statistics brought to you by Marina Dodge. As they are each game, Marina Dodge bringing you the first half stats. One goal scored early on the 6th minute by former Rhino Gabe Valencia. The head ball picking up his first in Open Cup play this year. Jensen with the assist, so Valencia from Jensen in the 6th minute, and the Battery with a 1-0 lead and made it hold up the rest of the way, although the Rhinos seemingly should have had a couple, if not 3 goals in that first half of play, but could not finish them. Unofficial stats, I have the Rhinos outshooting the Battery 8-3. That again, unofficial stats, 8-3 in favor of the Rhinos. Corner kicks, Rochester 5 and 2 for Charleston. Offsides done against the Rhinos, 3 offsides against the Battery. And, well, that's the way that went in the first half as far as stats unofficially are concerned. The shots 8-3 in favor of the Rhinos. Is that, you think, pretty indicative of the way the play was?
Rochester is doing everything right but finishing. It's been the story of the season. Crossbar for Carrieri, maybe 1 or 2 too many touches inside the 18, but they've dominated the play, put some nice balls on the ground behind the Charleston defense. Just a matter of beating Dusty Hudak now, but so far Charleston lucky to be up 1-0.
Actually, Hudak looks very strong, very confident.
It's a big, strong keeper. He's got some big, tall defenders in front of him that would keep me confident as a keeper, too. But again, on the ground, I think Rochester's had some success putting through balls behind the defense.
Well, certainly they've been doing that. And again, coming back to what we were talking about earlier, I really like the addition of Fuller back in the lineup.
You see a couple things with Fuller. You know, when the balls were played long and in the air, Rochester wasn't winning a lot of those challenges. Now Fuller able to challenge 2 defenders at a time and win the ball. Frees up some space, so it's another added element to the Rhinos' attack. And I like the combination of Fuller and Carrieri. With more time, it could be a solid match.
And it's turned out to be a very pleasant evening here, but the wind picking up a little, well, maybe not. There was a breeze there a couple of moments ago. I do see some clouds overhead. I don't know if we're going to get any rain or not, but it's turned out to be really a very pleasant evening.
Oh, comfortable, 70 degrees. These guys can run forever tonight. And with 45 minutes left here in someone's US Open Cup life, I look for a very exciting second half.
All right, Joe will have a guest he'll be talking with in just a moment as we continue from Frontier Field. At the half, it's a 1-0 lead for the Battery over the Rhinos, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Welcome back to Frontier Field. It's the Raging Rhinos halftime show. I am Joe Giuliano, joined by Billy Sedgwick, who unfortunately, because of a red card against the Revolution in the earlier round of the US Open Cup, is up here with us watching the game tonight. Billy, welcome to the perch. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm not used to being up here, but I mean it's been an entertaining game. I mean, and we got, like I said, we got a very good, very strong lineup out there from the defense all the way up to the forward. So the goal was very unfortunate. I mean, miscommunication. It's not an earned goal, so you're not like, you're not really giving them a hand saying, you deserve this. So. But they play that scrappy style. I mean, it's not a pretty style. They look for little dinks like that, and you saw what happened.
Charleston, it's almost like that old English long ball style. Is it different than every other team in the A-League? And is it difficult to adjust to this style of play?
Yeah, the mentality. I mean, whether it's from a throw-in, whether it's from a free kick, they're aiming right in the middle for flick-ons to Conway. And a lot of people, diss Conway a bit, saying he's getting a bit old, but you know what? He goes out with a purpose. He has a job to do. His role is flicking on balls. He plays very simple, and it's a tough style to play because they don't let you get behind them too much. Tonight we've been a lot more aggressive getting behind them as far as defense with Trout and Wilson getting up there, but they don't give you much. I mean, they don't mess around with it in the back.
You played against this team on the field. The Battery, solid, big players in the back. Are we going to be more successful possibly going on the ground at their defense?
I think so, and I think it'll work to our advantage with, you got Fuller in there he's gonna bring the ball down, and you saw a few chances where Carrieri was making that run, but the ball was just a little bit too close to the defender to reach, or he's gone. And if Dougie comes in, he's gonna have some fresh legs, and you don't know if you split Chris and Doug out wide and you play Fuller in the middle a little bit, but I think you have to keep it on the ground. This is probably the biggest team they've had back in years.
You mentioned Ian Fuller. He was out for 15 games. A lot of challenges in the air, sometimes against 2 Charleston defenders. What element does he add to this team coming back into the lineup?
I think he has a great calming effect, and he's very efficient when he plays. He's just an intelligent player. He makes the smart runs. He covers the whole width of the field. And as a forward, I mean, you love a guy like that that'll do not really the dirty work, but he's willing to do that kind of blue-collar work for the forwards that are, more running off the ball like a Doug and a Chris. They're not going to come down and chest the ball and play it into space. Their attributes are going, making those little tight runs off the defense with a guy like Fuller that can thread you.
Having some success here in the US Open Cup in 2004. Looking at the A-League stretch, coming off a monster road trip. How was that physically? Was it just crazy going to Virginia, then Massachusetts, back to Virginia? Physically, you guys must have been drained.
I mean, I was talking to the old commissioner tonight from the A-League, and I said, how can you even imagine an MLS team, or that be it an A-League team, playing at least 2 games in a week? And, and you're going in that weather. I mean, not excuses. We shouldn't have got spanked like we did, in the Richmond and Virginia Beach. But in that weather at this time of year, you cannot recover. And you could sleep in a bathtub of water and try to drink it, but you're never going to get hydrated. You're never going to get the right sleep. And I don't know. I thought we were doing quite well when we had the 2 out of the 3. Then we go to on the tail end of it, and we just had the air deflated in both those games.
Are we physically getting back to where we were before that incredible trip?
Yeah, and I think you can actually say they had a lot of assets to them. I mean, Richmond and Virginia Beach had 2 very good forwards that worked together, and I think sometimes they kind of would tic-tac it around our defense because, knowing your other forward, you can have so much success if you're tight in there, and I think that's what hurt us at times was the knowledge that each forward had on those teams with each other.
All right, Billy Sedgwick, hopefully we'll see you in the next round of the US Open Cup after we get by the Battery. Thanks for your time.
You're very welcome.
All right, the hard-nosed defender for the Rochester Raging Rhinos, Billy Sedgwick, spending some time up here in the perch. We'll come back with more of the halftime festivities from Frontier Field. I'm Joe Giuliano. You're listening to the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Here once again at Frontier Field as the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery going at it. It is a 1-0 lead for the Battery at the half. And we do have scores in from elsewhere at the half.
The Chicago scores a final.
That's a final. Chicago defeats Richmond, so the winner of this game will take on the Chicago Fire of the MLS. That is the final, as Richmond is ousted and Chicago Fire has made it to the semifinals.
We're talking to be a bit of a selfish soccer fan. From a standpoint of seeing MLS teams come to Rochester, if we win, I'd love to see Chicago. And you mentioned a great point, too. A good opportunity for more fans to come see MLS against the Rhinos.
Elsewhere, another Open Cup play tonight. Dallas and Kansas City scoreless early on in the match. San Jose and Minnesota even up at 1 about 30 minutes into their match. So that's what's going on in the U.S. Open Cup play tonight. Just about to get underway in the second half here at Frontier Field. It's a 1-0 lead for the Battery. Of course, it won't make any difference if the Rhinos don't come back here in the second half as they trail 1-0. This is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Give me 5, yeah, give me 5. From Salvatore's. Give me 5, oh wow. Sure sounds good to me. Give me 5, and how? Full menu delivery. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. That's the way to call. It's so good, and Salvatore's has got it all. Give me 5, yeah, give me 5 from Salvatore's.
What's on your pizza tonight? Call Salvatore's 234-5555 and order yours. Or try one of their pasta or seafood dinners, burgers, or subs with their full menu delivery. Salvatore's 234-5555.
Salvatore's will fill your plate. It's so good. Give me 5. Put a smile right on your face. Give me 5, yeah, give me 5. From Salvatore.
Now the second half at Frontier Field. Open Cup play in the Battery with a 1-0 lead over the Rhinos. As the play is underway, Rhinos now shooting it to our right. Ball across midfield. Carrieri settles it down to the midfield line for Shakiris, and he'll switch it to the outside of the left flank for John Wilson. Running onto the ball, sneaks a pass ahead, trying to inside the 18. The ball sneaks through. Henry, and the keeper, Hudak, picks up the ball and grabs it, holds on. And Joe's going to fill us in on all those changes at the half.
I'm done.
Okay. Floated through midfield, coming down to the Rhino 20. Man, he's kicking the ball tonight. He's got his bionic leg on tonight, Hudak, and the ball all the way down deep in the near corner. as it rolls, put off the leg of Mendez out over the end line. Nifty move there by Martinez and a corner kick for the Battery.
And that long punt by Hudak is right out of the game plan there. Just a long ball looking for Conway, the big target man up top. And again, 18-18, that's a huge punt.
Martinez, low service into the box. Head ball in for the corner, and it missed just wide by Evans. Missed a foot wide to the back post, so the Battery get the early pressure in the second half of play here.
Pato Aguilar warming up behind the goal for Rochester. Simmons, Don mentioned during the break, he's been warming up since kickoff, but we'll see if he gets in here.
That's one thing about the Charleston team. They generally spend the whole game warming up. I mean, the guys are pooped by the time they get into the match. That's back across midfield. Traub drops it off at his 35, and Wright takes it. Turns toward the middle, trying to get away from Conway, and does. Sneaks a pass through as Woolfolk tips it off, but the other side of the pass taken away by the Battery and dumped downfield. Right there to head it again into Charleston territory. Nodded by Trout, back for Shakiris. Grabbed onto by Martinez, but gets away with the ball. Sneaks it across midfield. As Fuller drops it off, Kirk Wilson tips it up the left side. Woolfolk under the ball at the 18. Off his chest, knocks it down, tries to sneak it through. Handball, and no call. Again, no call, and the ball played out to midfield. Everybody here at Frontier Field up in arms.
Brutal no call.
That's headed down inside the 18. Hudak out as he runs into Carrieri. Ball knocked loose. Hudak gets to it. Then he runs into Woolfolk in a collision. And Woolfolk now will have Watson coming over. Talk to Corey Woolfolk, and everybody will crowd in.
Tempers now starting to flare. If that no call, Rochester's frustrated. Charleston upset. There was collision with their keeper, but going back to that call, just horrific no call.
Man, we let anybody into the stadium here, don't we? There's a party going on tonight here. Some strange folks, haven't seen it in a long time, checking us out up here in the press box tonight.
Hopefully they'll bring us some good luck.
All right, so all of that, nothing happens. And the no call and a handball inside the 18. Wow.
The Rhinos bench, everyone in the stadium up off their feet. I'm shocked there's no call there.
Loaded through midfield. And the long ball, Carrieri trying to get in behind as Henry heads it back to the keeper, and Hudak takes it on the first bounce. Boy, oh boy. Well, it looks like Simmons is getting ready to check in. Long floater through midfield again. Wright steps in, but it's snuck under his foot. Conway tips it to the outside. Valencia across along the 6. That went loose and rolls through out on the 6 and out the other side as Chronopolis had a wide open net but couldn't get a foot on it.
I mean, everything that could go wrong for the Rhinos tonight is no penalty kick call. Charleston gets one chance, they score. So, right now, things not in Rochester's favor.
Throw in on the far side of the field from the 35 for the Rhinos. Chronopolis will be checking out and Simmons will be going in, so the Battery will be adding even more size to the lineup. That's headed away back to midfield. Tipped across midfield. Sneaking in behind. Wilson heads it forward to Kirk Wilson. Off the chest, settles to feet, and brings the ball toward the center circle. Spins back to his left, gets away and across midfield for Woolfolk. He'll turn toward the middle. Drops it off, but Wilson had turned the other way. The ball taken away by Conway. The Battery have it. Off on the right side, Chronopolis through midfield. As he moves into Rhino territory, grabbed on by Wilson, and the foul is called. So the substitution coming up. Simmons will be in, and Chronopolis, who's all the way on the other side of the field, will take his time walking all the way across to the near side.
This will be interesting because Simmons, a true forward, likes to attack, doesn't care for the defensive part of the game here, but Chronopolis, more of a midfielder, more of a defending player. We'll see what Chris Ramsey does here, bringing off a midi, bringing on a forward.
So we'll have the substitution. Yeah, I bet you don't get many back rubs like this when you're working, do you?
Not from the former vice president of communications. That's big.
Steve Rossi in the house tonight.
Good to see Steve. Great man.
And looks like he's lost a few pounds. I was going to say gained gray hair, actually. All right, here's the delivery down inside the 18. Ball knocked down as spinning around. That's knocked loose and carried off on the near wing. Away with it, Carrieri. As he's watched closely, trying to spin away from Henry, drops it off. Mendez with the right foot hammers a high floater through midfield. Fuller flicks it into the middle. Woolfolk after it, won't get to it as that is in, pounded high in the air the other way into Rhino territory. Back for it, Wright. As he gets tied up with Martinez near into the box, and Wright knocks it away. Valencia moving in. On the near wing, drops it back at the 35 toward the middle for Evans. He's being chased there by Shakiris. Out toward midfield, gets a push, but still has the ball. On the near wing with the left foot, sends it up the wing, and that's headed away by Wright, but into the stands. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Charleston Battery. 51st minute, a 1-0 lead for Charleston. That played away out to the 25. Shakiris to the center circle. Fuller settles the ball, trying to get away as he's taken down to the center circle. Tightest place across field, but out of bounds to the far side. Throw in for the Rhinos to the midfield line. Across midfield, Woolfolk checking back for the ball, drops it off for Kirk Wilson. Works toward the center circle, pass into the midfield circle. To Shakiris, drops it off there for Dave Wright. Brings it forward up the right wing side. Low line drive pass through, and it's tipped away into the stands by Titus. Throw in for the Rhinos 20 yards out of the near side.
It's a good chance for Trout now to hit Fuller, and then Rochester push some guys up into the attack behind Ian Fuller.
Ryan Trout backs up. Here's the throw in down the inside to the 6. That would knock through in front and booted away out of the box. Headed toward the middle. John Wilson stepping in underneath the center circle. Conway on him. Wilson turns back to the right, plays it to the outside of the near wing for Mendez. Drops off at midfield. One touch forward, flick on to the 18 by Fuller, but nobody's there. The ball knocked away again. On top, Shakir is drawing it forward down to the 25. Trying to sneak it through, but Klein takes it away, and he's taken down by Shakiris, and a foul is called. Free kick for the Battery from their own 30 in the middle of the field.
Shakiris not happy with himself there. Trying to thread the needle, maybe take a shot from 30 yards out.
Aviari on the checking into the match, and Corey Woolfolk coming out here in the 53rd minute.
It's a good move. Woolfolk did a lot of running tonight. Had one shot, but not a lot of touches on the ball. Allnut, a lot of bouncing and step here on the sideline, ready to check in. So this is a good spark of a move off the bench for the Rhinos.
Yari Allnut has scored a couple of big goals in US Open Cup play.
I think 99 he had one big one, didn't he?
Yeah. Ball sent downfield. Of course, in Open Cup play, I think any goal is a big one.
Yeah, that's true.
As Shakiris drops it off inside the 18, and the ball knocked away by Wilson out toward midfield. Fuller heads it back to Allnut. One touch to the outside and up the left wing. That's brought forward by Trout, working his way down to the 18, across, down along, back post side, Fuller in the middle for Allnut, and the ball knocked away. Here's a shot by Wilson, popped up in the air, and out to grab it, and his 6 is Hudak. Up in the air, comes down with the ball.
The substitute, Yari Allnut, an immediate impact, a quick one-touch pass to Trout on the outside. Started that whole Rhinos attack.
On for Valencia through midfield. As he's bumped from behind by Kirk Wilson, foul is called. Free kick for the Battery, 35 yards out off the left wing side. 54th minute, 1-0 lead for the Battery.
Looks like we're going to have Shakiris and Allnut play central midfield roles. Wilson playing on the right, and then Trout on the left side of midfield.
Evans, or make that Conway rather, ready to take the kick. Serves it up down inside the 18, floats through and out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Auto Depot USA, online at AutoDepotDirect.com. Clarion Riverside Hotel with 400 rooms, banquet space, and Bennigan's Grill and Tavern. By Gatto & Iacobangelo, a full-service law firm. And by the World Gym, official strength training facility of the Rochester Sports Group. Goal kick to be taken by Theo Zagar.
It's important for Rochester to keep focused, not get discouraged. Not getting PK calls or hitting the crossbar. The chances are there. It's a matter of time before one goes in.
Headed into Rhino territory. John Wilson on the left wing side rolls it across the midfield line. Checking back for the ball. Trout drops it off. It is 35 for Demon. Has to turn back for the ball. Now with the left foot sends it out to midfield. That's blocked away. Carried off by John Wilson as he sneaks away from Simmons across midfield. And the ball knocked out of bounds off Simmons, so a throw in for the Rhinos. On midfield is Shakiris in the middle. Rolls it to the center circle out of the near wing, and checking back for the ball is Kirk Wilson. Getting to it before it heads out over the touchline on the near side into the center circle. Shakiris dropping it back once again is 35 for Wright. Pass forward to Kirk Wilson as he's double teamed, turns and gets away with the ball. He's tackled, taken down, it's carried away by the Battery out of the near wing. Martinez up with it. Drops it to the outside of the near side for Valencia. Up the left wing, sneaks by Kirk Wilson. Drawing it down to the 20. Head for the end line, chased by Mendez. Cross down in front of the back post and sneaks through and far into the box, into the far corner. Taken by Simmons across the other way in front. Headed up in the air by Wright to the end line. And Zagar pulls it down at his 2.
Good slow build up there by Charleston. Now slowing things down, pressuring Rochester.
Back, Fuller checks off the ball, drops it off. Allnut on the attack. Off the right side, being chased. Allnut along the near wing, spins back with the ball, looking for the opening. In the middle for Shakiris along the 35. To the outside, the far end of the box. That's taken by Trout, looks for the cross. Trout draws it back along the 18. Chips run for the back post. In behind Carrieri, but he's offside. Carrieri with the side volley kick as the offside flag is in the air. First offside of the match against the Rhinos.
The directive, he did a great job to get way up in the air and strike you with the left foot. But just a bit behind the Charleston defense.
Back out of midfield. Mendez is down on the pitch. Not sure if he's cramping up or what's going on, but the trainer for the Rhinos being called out onto the field to take a look at Carlos Mendez. Other sponsors of tonight's broadcast include Golden Memories, the bus company the Rhinos use, and the bus company that Joe got to know so well last week.
Did we ever?
Vision Nissan at 785 Ridge Road in Webster. Salvatore's Pizza, the families from Rochester, and proud of it. And by Zweigels, providing sausage and meat products since 1880. Now Mendez coming off, and it looks like they'll be working quickly to get substitution in. It'll be Carlos Samedo.
Samedo was warming up behind the goal, so he should be ready to enter the game.
Ball knocked out of bounds on the near side to throw in for the Rhinos from their own 35. So Mendez is out injured in the 57th minute.
The Rhinos with 3 in the back right now as David Wright shifts out to right back.
And the ball through midfield. Whistle stops play. Restart for the Rhinos around the Charleston 35 in the middle of the field. Substitution is ready as Samedo getting ready to check out. And now comes out onto the pitch, so the substitution made here in the 58th minute.
It's defender for defender. Shakiris now with the restart. Wright and Demeter pushing up.
All right, ball pushed to the end line, out over the end line. Corner kick for the Rhinos. Off the left wing side, Shakiris will take the corner kick.
And Rochester's had a lot of corner kicks, but again, the quality of the service hasn't been there. We'll see if Shakiris picks it up a little bit.
And set for the service. Here it comes. High for the back post and headed away out by Titus. Popped up in the air, back to near midfield. Underneath it, Samedo heads it up the right side for Trout. Now on the near touchline, watched by Conway. Turns it up the right wing, heading for the end line, looking for the cross. Chips it for the end line, but is blocked out over the end line. Well, it evidently was not blocked as it's out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Battery.
Good double team defending there by Charleston. Conway coming all the way back to help out Rick Titus. And at this stage now, you're up 1-0. Really underdog against the Rhinos in the US Open Cup. Charleston got forwards coming back to play defense.
Ball then is slided through midfield on the goal kick from Hudak. Wright steps up, heads it back through midfield, but out of bounds. Throw it on the near side for the Battery at the midfield line. Gabe Valencia scored the goal back in the 6th minute. The only tally of the night so far to put the Battery up 1-0. Turn to the outside, and Martinez taken down. The Rhinos have it. On the near wing, Samedo sneaks it off to Kirk Wilson. Back to the outside for Samedo. Running onto the ball, but Valencia gets their first long shot in, and that's grabbed at his 3-yard line by the keeper, Theo Zagar.
And Valencia has adjusted nicely to this left midfield role after being a sniper up top. Plays on the outside of midfield, still scores, but does a nice job defensively.
Allnut called on the foul. That gets the yellow card here in the 60th minute. And a hard takedown on Evans of the Battery.
So Allnut making his mark, and you wonder if Allnut in a couple minutes here makes a push to make it 3 up front for Rochester. Right now he's playing central midfield. But as the game goes on, if there's no goals, you wonder if Erkley gives him the signal to go ahead and attack.
That is Jensen getting up off the pitch. So a restart. Free kick for the Battery to their own side of midfield. 60th minute and a 1-0 lead for Charleston. I get Pato Aguilar getting ready to check in for the Rhinos.
Assume he'll go in for Shakiris.
That's chipped down to the 18 and a flick in on goal, but that one knocked away out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Rhinos. That was a head ball from about 15 out, misses wide left.
And Zagar was actually at the top of the 6, a bit far off his line. Moments there of getting the ball chipped over his head.
Another thing to remember in Open Cup play, you only get 4 substitutions. This is the 3rd one coming up, and obviously you save that last substitution in case you need it in the later stages if somebody was to get injured.
Well, we saw what happened in New England when Sedgwick got the red card. Kamler got injured, but New England made all their substitutions, so to Rochester's advantage, they played 10v10.
That's through midfield. Conway in the center circle, dropping it off. Evans touching it to the outside of the near wing for Valencia. Stumbled, gets back up. The ball blocked away by Shakaris. As Titus chips it up the left wing side, underneath it goes Samedo. On the near wing, he'll send a high floater across midfield. Carrieri and Titus collide. Carrieri goes down the wall, Allnut. He hit under the ball, couldn't get to it. In the center circle, blocked forward by Trout. Trying to sneak it through. Man, there's boots up in the air all over the place. And the ball tipped in the far wing and out of bounds. Whistle stops play. Substitution coming here in the 61st minute.
Shakaris to come off. Aguilera comes in, and Gus St. Silva, the referee, very loose called match. He's letting a lot of things slide here. Contact and balls, so just letting the players play tonight.
All right, throwing off the left wing side. High floater through midfield. As the ball headed toward the middle, on the down in a collision, it's a back heel. Carrieri turning it off, trying to gain control. Fuller, pass along the 18, but it's knocked away. Fuller couldn't ever get a hold of the ball. Out of the near end, taken by Pato. On the 25, looks back toward the middle, still has it, being double teamed. Turns and drops it back to the center circle for Dave Wright. Moves off on the ball from 35 yards out, drawing it forward, turns to his left. Still trying to sneak the ball through. Deflected, coming down to the 18 and knocked away. Moving up with the ball, Pato. For Kirk Wilson, lays it back to Pato. On the left wing side to Trout. Far into the box, down near the end line. The cross in front, but headed away over the near side. Getting to it near into the box is Fuller. Stops to the yard out, drops it back out to the 18 for Samedo on the near wing. Backs up on the ball. Cross to the backdoor side, and ball flicked away by Simmons out the far end of the box. Trout knocks it down. Off of the far wing again, the Rhinos have it. Hammered inside the 18. Knocked down, and the loose ball carried away by the Battery. Sent out through midfield and chased back in his own zone by Samedo. Or make that Craig Demon, rather. And on the right wing, long delivery downfield. Here the 18, headed away and out. On the near side, Evans to midfield. That's blocked away by Ponto, and on the near side for Wilson. Kirk Wilson coming back, grabbed onto, taken down, and the foul is called. Wilson gets up, has a few words for Evans.
Wilson, I tell you, he gets fired up for these Open Cup games. Against Kansas City a couple years ago, he had a little situation that time right in the face of Evans. So he gets extra pumped up for these Open Cup matches.
Samedo serves it up down inside the 18. Ball headed up in the air again. Knocked out of the near wing. Stepping in underneath the Pato in a collision with Evans. Ball knocked away out to near midfield, and coming up is John Wilson. Volleys it down inside the 18. Underneath is Fuller in a collision with Hudak, and Hudak comes down with the ball.
Tonight's attendance, 7,016 at Frontier Field.
Pushed down on the near wing, Valencia through midfield. Trying to sneak it through up the left wing, touch to the outside by Martinez. Ball to the near wing, we're in the 64th minute. Here's a cross in front, ball knocked down, moving out. Pass hammered high by Klein. From 15 yards out, Klein moving in and buries a line drive up over top of the crossbar.
Klein's got to do better than that. He's got to at least put it on the frame. But the way the ball's even bouncing tonight, clearly in Charleston's favor, the ball at the top of the 18 really never falling to a Rhinos player.
That's flighted through midfield. Flick on by Fuller, down inside, trying to sneak in behind top, but doesn't get there in time. Up in the air and headed away by Watson. There's a crack of the ball by Pato, deflected wide. End line on the near side, and it's out over the end line and a corner kick for the Rhinos.
It's going to be one of those nights if Rochester scores, it's going to be a well-deserved, a hard-earned goal.
Pato will serve it up off the right wing side, right-footed kicker. Out-swinging kick. And here it comes. Back out top, headed away out the far end of the box. Getting to it is Trout, 20 yards out. Turns toward the middle, trying to get away with the right foot. Chips it down inside. Headed away out of the box, flicked out by Martinez on the near wing at Samedo. Up the right wing for Pato. Dropping it back for Samedo. From 35 yards out, cross along the 18. Headed away out of the box by Nigel Henry. That's flicked on. Shot by Wright moving in as he shanked it off the outside of his foot and way wide right of the net.
That's a tough shot to hit, though. It's dropping fast. Wright goes for the one-time volley. You know, he gets tagged as more of a physical, strong player in the air, but I tell you, don't underestimate his skills with the ball at his feet. He's had a couple of nice runs, a couple of great passes tonight, and then struck a very difficult shot on the volley right there.
65th minute, and a 1-0 lead for the Battery. Comes on the near side through midfield, headed toward the middle. Wright is there to flick it toward midfield, and Allnut flicks it across midfield. Carrieri chasing it down to the center circle, then taken down. Pato sends it through midfield for Trout up the left wing side. He's one-on-one with Jensen, trying to sneak through. Plays it out to the outside. Moving up, John Wilson. He's taken down to the far end of the box. Foul is called, but he's going to place the foul. The card is issued, but the foul on the outside the box. The foul is on Simmons.
Great connection there from the former members of the Charleston Battery, Ryan Trout. I love when Trout goes at defenders, not afraid to take people on. He'll loosen things up, then he lays it off for the overlapping John Wilson. Great stuff from the former Battery members or teammates.
Restart is 6 yards out of the far end of the box. And Pato to serve it up off the right-footed kick. In-swinging kick, goes for the net. Oh, across the goal mouth, and just by the back post.
And I tell you, since Pato has come in, we've seen a little improvement in the crosses on corner kicks and restarts. Shakira's a bit off tonight on those restarts, but Pato has come in, and that was a pinpoint pass that should have been buried by the Rhinos.
Goal kick for Hudak, the keeper for the Charleston Battery, who's been busy tonight. 67th minute. Ball flighted through midfield, off on the near wing, as it's headed toward the middle, but Wright gets to it to knock it away from Martinez. Spins to the outside, comes away with the ball. Turns back toward the middle, still has it. With the left foot, drives it out through midfield. As Fuller tries to head it forward, but pulled off the ball. Carrieri after it, slipped and went down. Knocked it out of bounds, throwing on the near side for the Battery. Whistle stopping play. Well, he's telling Valencia, all right, you've gained enough yardage. Here's the throw in now through midfield to Martinez. But knocked away by Kirk Wilson to Pato, who hits for the center circle. Sends it off of the left wing side, running onto the ball on the open left wing is Trout. Down to the 20, far into the box. Here's a cross, but no help there. Was he shooting or crossing? Well, I think he was going for the net, but missed the net.
He had some time there, too, as the defender slowly coming over. Jensen. Trout, I thought maybe he could have taken him on. He's so creative, going right at defenders. That time decided to mix it up and go with a quick cross.
Ball placed, and Hudak, the keeper, will take the kick. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Tire World at 2049 Empire Boulevard in Webster, Bollier, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, and Buick in Honeoye Falls, Westmont Apartments, studio 1- and 2-bedroom apartments and gates, and by Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. Knocked out of bounds on the near side, throw in for the Battery from their own 40.
To remind fans, the Chicago Fire comfortably waiting to see who wins this matchup here between Rochester and Charleston.
All thrown in. That's headed away by Wilson out on the near side. Valencia, watched by Allnut, chips it ahead. Kirk Wilson gets to it and hammers it out through midfield. Back for it. That one skipping away from Henry. Trying to get through his Fuller, but Watson was pushing him away. And the ball then chipped by Pato up the left side. Far into the box goes Trout. Here's a cross along the 6 in front. And the ball up in the air comes down to the far wing. Nodded away out of the box. Pato settling it as he's taken down. Foul is called on Simmons. And there is a Charleston player that's down on the pitch.
They want the foul called on all. That initiative came in hard with a challenge. They continue to play, and Simmons again. It's his second foul now in a very dangerous part of the field here.
Got a couple of players having words across the way.
They're saying that Allnut came in with his studs exposed.
Well, they're not talking to Allnut, though.
Well,
it's on the far, see, way over there, that's Jensen having words with. Was it Carrieri or was it Pato?
Oh, okay.
All right, so a free kick for the Rhinos, 20 yards out of the left end of the box.
Action all over the field.
And the clock becoming the enemy of the Rhinos. It's 69th minute and a 1-0 Charleston lead. Here's the restart. Chipped down in front, but headed away out of the box on the near side. Semedo after it, getting to it all on the near wing. That'll roll out of bounds. It's a throw in for the Rhinos deep up the near end of the box. Getting to it, Pato keeps it in, and now he put it away. Out of bounds, awfully. Charleston player, the linesman didn't see it. Charleston was backing up, ready for the Rhino throw in. They knew, touched it last, but the linesman didn't.
He's right there at the top of the play, so again, very loose called match by the officials.
Flick on, then tipped out of bounds on the near side. Throw in for the Rhinos on the near side. From the Charleston 35, and the throw in by Semedo. Knocked out by Titus. Another throw in for the Rhinos, this time 20 yards out on the near side. Semedo backing up. Goes short in the throw in to Pato. Volley's it along the 18. Allnut, but that's headed away and out top. Back for it goes Wilson. John Wilson in the center circle. Dropping it off to Demon. Off to the near side for Wright. At the midfield line. Right now will pass through in the middle for Kirk Wilson. Turns, trying to sneak it through to Allnut, but the ball knocked away. And it's played out across midfield. There was Fuller that made the pass, not Wilson. All the way down to the 18. The Rhino keeper has the ball. Rolls it out on the near wing. Dave Wright, but blocked away and into the stands by Conway. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos from their own 20. Now the 71st minute. Time of the essence. Samedo with the throw in along the near wing, flights it out to midfield. All net in a collision with Valencia. The ball knocked down. Klein up the near wing, right then hammers it out through the center circle, off of the far wing, and after it goes Jensen, lets it roll out of bounds, and a throw in for the Rhinos, or for the Battery rather, the midfield line on the far side.
Still a two-forward formation for Rochester. Carrieri and Fuller, all not still with some midfield responsibilities.
High floating through ball. Simmons nods it forward, and it is finally taken away as Wilson in the middle. Pato pass upfield in the center circle for Allnut. Turning, trying to get away from Evans. It does. Through ball down to the 18. Rolls into the hands of the keeper. Hudak is there at the 18 and waiting.
And again, Hudak, probably one of the fastest keepers coming off his line. Almost like another sweeper back there defensively.
On ball downfield, headed away to midfield. Trout nods it back for Pato. Tips it into the center circle for Allnut. Sneaks it up the left wing side as Allnut is taken down. Foul is called. And the card is issued. Hugh Evans gets the yellow in the 72nd minute.
It's Evans just returning the favor when Allnut got tangled up with Watson in a very harmless part of the field. Evans goes for the freebie on Yari Allnut.
So the free kick for the Rhinos. Just to their own side of midfield. Demon tips it down to the 18. That's knocked down in front. Fuller trying to get away, but he can't. Take it down along the 18, and no call is made. Again on the far wing, John Wilson spinning around. Takes it away from Simmons. Has it on the left side. The cross down in front, but headed away by Watson. And flicked toward the midfield circle. Wright steps up. Hill headed forward into the chest of Carrieri, but couldn't control. And the ball pounded up in the air by Henry out on the far wing. Bounces out of play, and a throw in on the far side for the Rhinos. Long throw in. Deep to the far end of the box, headed away by Titus, but out of bounds again. This time the throw in for the Rhinos from about 10 yards out on the far side. Another throw in along the end line, headed up in the air, all that in off it. Bicycle kicking that off of the defender Henry out over the end line. A corner kick for the Rhinos.
That's just great effort from Yari Allnut. He never stops playing. He slips down, the ball's still up in the air, gets up, quickly tries the bicycle kick. Just great effort from Yari Allnut.
Corner kick. Here's the service into the box. That's hit, but knocked away. Oh! Then hammered in the air and downfield by Conway. I thought the Rhinos were going to get a chance at it. Way out at his 35 is Zagar. Sends it ahead on the left wing side. Pato up, flicks it on. But Henry is there. He'll volley the ball high in the air. Pato again in underneath it. Tips it toward the middle. Sneaking through on the right side for Trout. Here into the box. And coming back to knock him away is Valencia. But Trout has it again. The near corner of the box. Looking for the cross. Bounced away off Valencia. Has it again. Trout on the near side. Along the 18 in the middle. Looking for the cross. Bounces through on top. In is right to headed forward for Kirk Wilson. Turns to the left. Trying to get through. But Rhinos again just can't penetrate that 18 as the ball is pounded up into the stands on the far side.
I tell you, this Charleston defense, they're bending, they just won't break.
Wright sends it through the center circle. Taken by Craig Demon with the right foot pass ahead. Deflected aside, but that's booted out through midfield, right into the chest of Demon again at the midfield line. Feeds it forward to Pato. Drops it back for Demon. Turns, looks around, goes to the left wing side for Dave Wright. He'll then hammer it out through midfield. Watson heads it in the air. Coming down to the 18. Headed back into the keeper on one bounce. Grabbed by Hudak. And holds on as Allnut is on the doorstep.
And as we go on here, Rochester, they'll be able to start their attack right from midfield as Charleston sitting back in a defensive shell.
That one volleyed away downfield. Headed back to the center circle by Samedo. Flicked toward the middle and then booted in the air by Klein. That comes out of the near wing. Headed down to the Rhino 18. Demon settles it and he'll volley it away to midfield. High floater. Fuller has it in his foot but gets tangled up and taken away. Samedo out on the near side of midfield. Long delivery downfield. Underneath it trying to get to it. Carrieri to far into the 18. Settles the ball. On the 18. Turns toward the middle with the right foot. Takes the shot. He missed the foot wide to the right side. Carrieri shot from 19 yards out. Went for the back post side and missed wide.
Great work by Carrieri just to find enough space, just to find the opening to get a shot away as it's hard and low just wide of net. And a great ball from Carlos Samedo on the near side, changing the whole run of play to the far side.
75th minute. 1-0 lead for the Battery. There's the kick through midfield, coming out on the near wing and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from near midfield. Samedo steps in, goes short on the throw into Pato, dropping it back along his 35 to right. His return pass to Pato in the center circle. As he's bowled over from behind, the foul is called on Evans. Chased down to the 35 by Carrieri, pushing into the outside again for Pato. Turns to get away from Evans. To the 18. Spins back to the right. Across down in front, but headed away out of the box. Underneath it, Kirk Wilson settles the ball. Turns to the outside. Spins back on the near wing. Wilson tips it up the right side to Trout. As he's watched by Titus. Trout has it near into the 18. They'll go for the back post side. Floated away and out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Charleston Battery. 77th minute, Charleston leading 1-0. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Nextel, sponsor of the Nextel Direct Connect call-in show following each game. By the Caledonia Country Club, open to the public Mondays and Tuesdays. And by the Soccer Report, Tuesday evenings at 6:30 on WYSL 1040 AM.
On that last rush there, every player except for Theo Zagar crammed into the Charleston half of the field. And again, the dimensions here at Frontier Field, probably one of the smallest in the A-League, and it was just jam-packed with bodies.
Also, one more name to pass along. Best Volvo at 1500 University Avenue. Through midfield into the chest of Simmons as he gets tied up. Kirk Wilson heads in the middle. On that one touch out to midfield, but can't get it through. And the ball pushed to the near corner of the field and out of bounds. Substitution coming up for the Battery. Chris Goose will be checking in, and it'll be Jesus Martinez out in the 78th minute.
The Rhinos also looking at going to the bench for some firepower. Doug Miller getting ready to check in. Now at this point, you want to see Rochester go with 3 guys up top, take out a defender. At this stage of the game, whether it's 2-0, 3-0, your season is over if you lose. So see if they can open some things up here.
All right, so Dave Wright is coming out, and Doug Miller is going in the 79th minute.
That's a good move by Coach Erickley. Oh, no, David Wright is staying on now. It's
Semedo that's coming out.
Semedo.
Yeah, Semedo is checking out.
Still a good move. Take out a defender, throw some numbers into the attack. At this point, what do you have to lose?
That's flicked across midfield. Carrieri under the ball, off to Walnut in the center circle, pass to Carrieri. He slicks it through inside the 18, and getting back is Watson to hammer it away into the stands in the far wing, and the Rhinos had plenty of offensive punch on that attack. Here's the service into the box. Head ball in front for Fuller. And flicked it inside, but that's hammered away into the stands to the far side again.
I think the guys have to get used to playing with Fuller again. He just neatly lays the ball off. Something we haven't seen in a while from the Rochester Rhino forwards.
Miller will take the throw in off the left wing side. We're into the 79th minute. Rochester trailing 1-0. Low throw into the box. Played away out top. Trout spinning, trying to get away. He'll low it to the outside again on the left wing. And turning back in the middle. Across down in front. Hit ball! Missing out the near side. Off the header from Fuller at the back post. Couldn't get up quite high enough.
The Rhinos really have dominated this match, unable to score. Charleston hoping to get by here, sitting back and protecting this 1-0 lead.
So a goal kick for the Battery. Again, now the 80th minute. Well, the Rhinos do have to score 2 goals. Or at least, they have to score a goal and then, through penalty kicks or whatever the case, but whatever it is, has to add up to 2 goals yet tonight in order to continue on. And really, with their back to the walls at this time, backheel by Simmons, that's knocked away by Demon out the near wing. After Dave Wright up the right side, plays it away off the foot of Goose and on the bounce, so a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Another substitution as Cutney will be checking in, and it'll be Jensen coming out here in the 80th minute.
Jensen, the defender, replaced by another defender, Cutney. So Chris Ramsey getting some fresh legs defensively for this little protective stretch.
And the throw in up the right wing side for Fuller. Tips it along the 18, but headed away by Klein. Titus pops it up in the air, but out of bounds on the near side. So a throw in for the Rhinos along the near side of the field, down around the 25. Kirk Wilson with a throw in, goes short on the throw in to Pato. Cross down in front. That went sneaking through the far end of the box. It'll be chased down on the far wing by Ryan Trout. Spinning around to the right side, turns it right back into the box. As Carrieri goes for the bicycle kick, but he's taken down. Wilson on top. Pato a roller and knocked away. Oh, that spins on the right side. Carrieri stumbled and went down. However, offside flag is in the air anyway.
Just numbers in the box, trying to get through this massive wall that Charleston's formed in front of their goal. And they're getting shots off, but they're deflected, going well wide of the net.
So the goal, rather the free kick for the Battery. 7 yards out to be taken by Hudak. Again, now it's the 82nd minute as the clock seems to be going running like a whirling dervish here, and the ball is cleared through midfield. Wright stepping up as he gets tangled up with Simmons. It's played back to Demon with the right foot. Hammers it out through midfield, and it's deflected up in the air, coming down to the center circle. Flick on, and a flick on by Fuller inside the 18. Haddock is out to scoop it up as Miller was on the doorstep.
See the fresh legs of Miller just barely losing that ball out to Hudak.
This one is pounded out through midfield all the way down to the Rhino 20. Headed up in the air, near into the box. Simmons settles the ball to feed on the near wing, but knocked away, and Kirk Wilson takes it. As he's challenged from behind, gets away from Simmons, drops it off for Demon. First times it through midfield. Fuller with a flick on the right wing side, but getting back is Watson again with the left foot, pounds it up in the air. And is out of bounds to the near side. Throw in for the Rhinos. Pato with the throw in. Flick on by Fuller on the 18. Carrieri dropping it back on top, but it's taken away on the pass by the Battery to the center circle. Demon steps up and has it. Turns it to the outside up the right wing for Wright. Chips it ahead, and the ball booted away downfield again. Back go the Rhinos. Demon getting to it. Heads it away for John Wilson out on the left wing side. And he'll leave it for Pato. Long up the left wing, running onto the ball near the end line is trapped. That one at the far end of the box is hammered up into the stands, and a corner kick for the Rhinos.
Good chance here. Rochester to push some big boys up top. Demon, we'll see if he can recreate the heroics we saw against the Fire Reserves. He's up there, so is David Wright for some big targets.
Here comes the service in the box. Headed away and out by Henry. Off of the far wing, Trout underneath it. On the left wing side, watch there. Trying to get away from Cutney. Drops it off for Pato. On the left wing, then serves it in the box. Head ball in, floater, but just up over top of the crossbar.
Just not the Rhinos' night. Hudak has gotten everything gone his way. As it's Fuller, Miller, Carrieri up top trying to kick this door open, but they just can't.
Well, you know what? The Battery tonight trying to equal the number of wins that they have in the regular season. 3 wins in the regular season. They're looking for their third win here in Open Cup play tonight.
And this will be their first ever win at Frontier Field.
And they've shut out the opposition in all the games so far. All the way. They have not given up a goal in Open Cup play. That's pushed out on the near wing, all nut in underneath it. On the right wing, trying to sneak it through, but taken away by Titus. Up the near wing for Conway. Turns it out to midfield. And to the outside, he puts it away into his own player bench. Throw in for the Rhinos on the near side across midfield. Pato taken down on a tackle by Evans. Foul is called and a restart for the Rhinos. Pato chips it up the right wing side. Carrieri to the end line. Will he get there in time? No, he won't. And it's a goal kick.
Pato's got to slow down just a little bit. There's still some time. Give the Demons, give the Wrights a chance to push up into the box. That's the second time now he's played a quick restart and really just destroyed the whole Rhinos attack.
84th minute. Rhinos need a goal desperately, trailing 1-0. Low line drive kick through midfield. That one headed forward by Wright to midfield, but volleyed in the air by Conway along the near side. Demon in underneath it to Nottage along the near wing. Kirk Wilson, but can't keep it in play. Throw in on the near side for the Battery to be taken by Valencia. From the Rhinos 40 on the near side of the field. Valencia, another fake throw in, this time up the wing, and Wright flicks it toward the end line. Is Zagar getting to it? And it's out over the end line, so this will be a corner kick for the Battery.
You know, and not to take anything away from Charleston. They're a quality team defending A-League champs. Not going their way in the A-League season, but a little bit of luck helps too. Every championship team has a touch of luck to get them through the tough times.
Corner kick off the left wing side. Right-footed kicker, so an in-swinging kick into the box. That's headed away up the far end and knotted back in the middle. And the kick in, but Wright blocks it away. And the ball played out to the 35. Klein goes for the man, and Zagar knocks it down off the line. Comes away with the ball.
And again, the ball just bouncing in favor of Charleston. It laid down beautifully for Justin Evans, who got a fierce shot away on goal.
Off the right side for Kirk Wilson. Pass in the middle, but that right into the feet of Conway. Taken back by the Battery. Valencia on the near wing slides into the ball to keep it in play. Then he sneaks by Pato and comes away at midfield. Off the left wing side for Goose. Turning it back in the middle for Valencia. Hassel on the near wing. Simmons won't get to it. It's out of bounds. And a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from their own 20. Be taken by Dave Wright on the throw in. Ahead for Wilson. 86 minutes. Time running out of the Rhinos. Long service downfield. Headed in the air by Watson. Back in the midfield line, and Trout is there to nod it to the outside. Moving in Miller with the ball. Ahead for Allnut. Turns to the outside to get away. Allnut still with the ball. Pass to the outside. Left wing for Trout. Turning back in the middle along the 30. Cross along the 18, but there's Titus to knock it away out top. Kirk Wilson steps in. Goes to the outside of the box, and that's Henry to volley it away to midfield. Demon steps up. One touch to the outside on the right wing for Kirk Wilson. His ball through to the 18. Fuller knocks it down. Carrieri, but can't get a clear open to get a shot away. Pass on the far side, but knocked away out top. That's pounded in the air back to the center circle. In underneath it, John Wilson volleys it forward, but headed away on the far wing by Cutney out to midfield. Underneath it, John Wilson and the ball forward. Pato run up the back by Henry, and then Wilson heads it forward to the 35. Ball bouncing back and forth. Finally, it's hammered out through midfield into the stands to the far side, and the Rhinos with a throw in at the midfield line. John Wilson with a throw into Trout on the far wing, tied up in the ball, taken away. 87th minute, Rhinos trailing 1-0. Throw in for the Battery from their own 35 on the far side of the field.
St. Silas telling them, pick up the pace here. Henry, a little gamesmanship. He's going to eat away at the clock here.
Through midfield. Flick on, and Demon then bangs it out through midfield as Fuller and Titus tangle up. As Fuller goes down, the ball comes out of the near wing. With the left foot, Titus shanks it into the stand, so a throw-in at midfield on the near side for the Rhinos. Right with the throw-in, a hit for Fuller. Trying to pass it forward, but blocked aside, then headed forward by Kirk Wilson up the wing, but out of bounds. Throw-in on the near side of the field for the Battery from their own 25.
It's crucial that Rochester pins Charleston deep in their own territory here and then regains possession of the ball.
Throwing up the near wing. Right heads it in the middle. As sent forward by Allnut for Carrieri. Checking back for the ball. Drops it off in the center circle for John Wright. Off the left wing side on the attack. Wright trying to sneak through. Tips it down to the 18, but there's Evans to pound it away and downfield again. Out of bounds on the far side and out to play. Throw in on the far side for the Rhinos. Greg Demon over for the throw in. Now the 88th minute. The Rhinos trailing 1-0. Demon with the throw in back to the keeper. Throws by Zagar. Comes out of the near side of the feet up the right wing for Dave Wright. Brings it ahead. Right on the attack. Looks downfield and a long delivery downfield. Checking back for the ball. It's knocked away off Fuller on the far side. Rhinos get to it. Trout on the left wing, spinning around to get away. Down to the 18. Far into the box. Looking for the cross. Takes the shot. Missed on the short side and puts it up over top of the net.
Just not the night for Rochester. I can't say it enough. Trout has been so effective taking on defenders, getting around them, and creating chances. That time just doesn't put it on the frame. And again, for Hudak, dodges another bullet.
So the ball placed to the 6. As Hudak backs up, here's the goal kick with the right foot. Sends the line drive kick through midfield. Wilson heads it in the air. Underneath it, Simmons flicks it, but John Wilson back to knock it down for his keeper, Zagar. Will first time it away through midfield. Floating ball coming down. Titus up the back of Allnut in the midfield circle. Conway pushing it forward to Chris Goose on the right side. Turning down to the Rhino 25 to the 20, the far end of the box. Looking for the cross in front and back forward to take it away is Pato. Turns it outside the area, brings it away. Pato long service up the left wing side. Not headed away by Watson. As back near midfield and volleyed into Rhino territory for Greg Simmons. Pushing it ahead. Knocked forward. Trying to get the return pass. Kirk Wilson takes it away. The Rhinos have it. Sent downfield by John Wilson on the left wing side. Underneath it is Fuller. As he can't control it, it's out over the end line. And it'll be a goal kick.
Fuller has played, coming after missing 15 games. He's played the full 90. Looks like he's still got some gas left in the tank, but he's done a nice job. It's good to see him come back because the opportunities were there for Rochester. Just a bit of unlucky in the finishing part of the match.
With the right foot, Hudak, the keeper, kicks it away downfield. As the clock is about to stop at the 90-minute mark, Simmons has it. Turns to his right, 35, looking for the through ball. That's brought away across midfield, and unable to score was Cutney as he was in all alone. And I think Ryan Trout would have been able to block the ball had he even taken the shot.
At least Cutney's got to put it on the frame there. Did a good job to get around Zagar, pushed it a bit far, but then way wide.
3 minutes of stoppage time as the clock now stopped at 90. 3 minutes. The Rhinos need a goal, or the Open Cup play this year is history. That's flicked down inside the box, headed away out the far end of the box, and chased down by Goose. With the right foot, drives it out puts it out of bounds, so a throw into the far side for the Rhinos.
Leave this for Trout. He's got a great long throw. He'll take it.
There's the throw in, goes out high to Wilson. 35 yards out, serves it down inside the box. Punched away by Hudak out top. Trying to get underneath. Pato can't do it. John Wilson in underneath the ball in the center circle. Turns back, spins away to his left to get away from Goose. Still has the ball. Dribbling it forward to the 20. Chips it, but that's headed away and out by Evans. Stepping up his right. Takes a look downfield. Chips it off on the right wing side. Yemen is in deep but can't do anything. That's cleared out the near wing. Taken by Carrieri. Plays it toward the middle for Pato. Turns back in the middle to the 18. Sneaks it through. Here's Chris Wilson with a shot in, but Kirk Wilson that is, and a dribbler wide out over the end line. That should have been off of a Charleston player, but they indicate no, it's a goal kick.
You don't want to be too critical of the officials, but it's been a rough one for them tonight, no doubt about that.
Well, the ball will be placed to the 6. Stoppage time. Hudak hammers it out through midfield. Ball headed in the air by Simmons. Comes out the near wing with the left foot. Drives it forward down to the Rhino 18. Zagar picks up the rolling ball. Rolls it ahead for John Wilson. Rhinos will bring it forward with the left foot delivery downfield. Fuller with a flick on, but that one bounced out top. Kirk Wilson trying to sneak it through. Fuller checking back. Heads it off to Dave Wright, moving up on the right side. Turns back in the middle. Turns along the middle. And a feed in the middle. Kirk Wilson chips it on the right side. And on the near side, Kirk Wilson spins around with the ball. Drops it on top. Right for the shot. And Bender. He puts it wide left. Going for the upper left corner and just bent it on the backdoor side wide of the net.
It could have been the final poke of the evening for Rochester. His right makes full contact. Kirk Wilson did a good job to settle the ball down and neatly lay it off for the big Rhinos defender.
Goal kick for the Battery. Hudak, who's played an outstanding game with the right foot, drives it out through midfield. Off on the near wing. Wright heads it across midfield, but then Conway volleys it the other way. Yemen heads it in the air. John Wilson underneath the ball. Comes away, turns to his left to get away from Simmons, and with a long kick downfield on the left wing side. That's headed back to midfield, the center circle for Evans. Booted across midfield into Rhino territory, and turning back for it goes John Wilson on the far side. With the left foot, sends it through midfield. Henry there, heads it back to the center circle. Rhinos can't get to it, and it's volleyed all the way down into Rhino territory. Taking a one bounce by Zagar with the right foot. Long kick downfield. That one tried to sneak through, but Titus heads it to the midfield line. Wright stepping out. His pass is kicked aside. Booted loose. And a foul is called. And a restart for the Rhinos at the midfield line. Wright with it, chips it down inside the 18. Up in the air they go. Punched away by Hudak. On the near side, Pato getting to it. On the right wing side. Turns it along the near wing. He'll loop it down inside. Flick on by Demon to the back post. No help. Has the ball out the far end of the box. Taken by Trout deep in the far corner. Trying to get loose. Turns it out top. He gets spun around. Still after the ball. To the end line. Knocked away again by Evans. Trout has it. Rolls it out top. Moving in John Wilson. On the left side. Cross in front. That's blocked away. Wilson bicycle kick toward the net. Hit ball in. Put down to the line. Grabbed by Hudak and he holds on. And there's the whistle. There's the whistle, and the Open Cup is history this season for the Rhinos. Oh, man, disappointment like you wouldn't believe here tonight. So, from Frontier Field, we'll have more in a moment. The final score tonight. In Open Cup play, the Charleston Battery 1 and the Rochester Raging Rhinos nothing. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Well, here at Frontier Field tonight, as the Raging Rhinos have been eliminated from US Open Cup play by the Charleston Battery. The Cinderella story, to say the very least, this season. In Open Cup play, the Battery now move on to take on the Chicago Fire of the MLS in the semifinals. And the Rhinos eliminated this year in the quarterfinals by the Charleston Battery. Charleston has not allowed the opposition to score a goal yet in Open Cup play, as they have won 3 games and won 1-0, and 2-0.
2-0.
And the Charleston Battery players taunting the Stampede fans down at the end, and they're having a verbal exchange. And I don't know if the Battery are remembering that they've got to come back here on Sunday night or not.
We'll pick up where we left off tonight, right?
So it'll be interesting to see what happens come Sunday night when the Charleston Battery returning here. But what a huge disappointment tonight for the Rhinos.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, countless opportunities to score. A couple of questionable handball possibilities in the box. They weren't called, but the bottom line is Charleston had that chance. They made the most of it, and like I said in the broadcast, a little bit of luck helps you get through the tough times. And taking nothing away from the performance of Charleston, they're a solid team, and they got the win tonight. What else can you say?
Well, you said some championship teams have a little luck. I'll tell you what, every championship team has had a lot of luck.
I think we see another.
That's just a part of it.
See another perfect example of that here tonight. The Battery, the defense, they bent, they didn't break, and they come away with a 1-0 win.
Well, it's the first time the Charleston Battery have ever won a game in this stadium. And they're acting like they just won the...
Well, let's not forget where they're coming from. They stink in the A-League season. I mean, they're at the bottom of the barrel.
For them, this was the championship game here tonight.
This is their season. That's all that's left. They're out of the playoffs, and now Charleston looks to make something happen here in the US Open Cup.
Well, it's such a huge disappointment tonight. The Chase Pitkin play of the game tonight, Joe.
It's got to be the goal, I think.
What else is there?
Nothing else you can say about that. Valencia just got to the ball before Zagar to tap it over the Rhinos keeper's head. And when you dominate a game so much and just can't score mentally, I think you're drained. It's hard to overcome that, and I think we saw that here tonight.
All right, Chase Pitkin with a lifetime tool warranty for all tools purchased at Chase Pitkin. Well, this is the best Rhino of the game. I think I know the best player of the game probably was the keeper, Dusty Hudot. He controlled his own end of the field all night long, but
he was solid in the net tonight. But for the Rhino side of things, let's give it to Ian Fuller.
Yeah,
Great to see him come back. Yeah. He did some nice things, challenging for the ball, helping out.
A player that misses 15 games, especially off a broken foot, comes back. There's no way expect him to go more than about 50 or 60 minutes. He went the full 90 and was still contributing at the end of the 90.
You saw him do things that we were lacking in the 15 games that he missed. Go up in the air, challenge against defenders, lay balls off for forwards running off of him. So it's good to see him back, and unfortunately he couldn't make that immediate impact as far as the score sheet is concerned, but with a little more time, I think Fuller is going to be something to be dealt with.
So the best Rhino of the game tonight, Ian Fuller. Best Rhino of the game brought to you by Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer at 1500 University Avenue. Well, now for the Rhinos, it's to put this, the task is to put this behind them and now concentrate on league play. And I don't know, there's so much disappointment probably here tonight. It could be difficult come Friday night to really get back up.
It's kind of like Charleston. All they have to play for is now the US Open Cup. For Rochester, Open Cup is done. They've got to focus on making the playoffs because an Eastern Conference race, it's tight. Syracuse comes in here Friday. If they win, they're 1 point behind the Rhinos. So not a lot of time to sulk and be upset about this loss. They've got to focus and really try and make the playoffs here in the 8th.
Well, as far as getting up for the game, though, this weekend, it should not be that difficult. The Rhinos owing Syracuse for what happened just a couple of nights ago. Then on Sunday night, Charleston coming to town, and the Rhinos certainly will be owing the Charleston Battery for tonight.
Well, payback all around on this weekend here in Rochester's Frontier Field, so the Rhinos definitely have an agenda. They'll have to look hard into seeing how they want to handle this, but payback time for Syracuse and Charleston if Rochester wants to do it.
Well, but certainly this is a morale buster, if you will, here tonight.
It's the story of the season. They're having trouble scoring goals. The chances are there. It's just a matter of putting them in the back of the net. Tonight we saw the crossbar save the keeper. At least one handball call in the box, which was not called. So unlucky. Rochester needs a little bit of luck also to get them back on track here. And scoring some goals makes everything seem a lot better.
All right, Joe. Glad to have you back.
Don, it's great to be back with you, and look forward to seeing you on Friday.
All right, Joe Giuliano. I'm Don Stevens. We'll have the post-game show coming up next, right here along our network. The final score tonight in Open Cup play, the Charleston Battery bending the Raging Rhinos 1-0. This is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Back at Frontier Field tonight for our post-game show as the Rhinos meet the Charleston Battery in the quarterfinals of the 2004 US Open Cup competition. Let's take a look at the scoring in the game. There was just one goal scored early on, 6th minute. Looked harmless to start out, but Gabe Valencia, the former Rhino, puts it away. A hit ball in the 6th minute, his first of Open Cup play. Jensen assisting, and this is the first goal, the game-winning goal. Jensen with the throw in. Off to Evans. Chips it down inside the 18. Zagar out, but that's headed away. And Valencia scores. Zagar Zagar coming out for the ball. He did not get up high enough. Valencia just inside the 18, heads it inside the left post, and the Battery draw first blood early on and lead 1-0. So again, that was the game-deciding goal. That was the eliminator for the Rhinos, as that was the only goal scored in the night. It came in the 6th minute when Valencia scored his first of the Open Cup play, and Jensen assisting, and again, that was the only goal. That's the way it ended up, with the Battery defeating the Rhinos 1-0. And I do have the official stat sheet in now. We see that Rochester did outshoot the Battery 18-9. Rochester doubled the Battery in shots 18-9, but was all for naught. Looking in corner kicks, the Rhinos had 10, the Battery had 4. Man, oh man, statistically, the Rhinos really dominated. Offsides, Charleston 3 and the Rhinos 1. Fouls, the Battery 16 fouls and the Rhinos had 8. Looking at goaltending on the night, that was the story as far as I'm concerned. Dusty Hudak really played a strong game in nets for the Battery, did not allow a goal, had 3 saves, and Hudak now in Open Cup play, 3 games, 3 wins, and has not allowed a goal. At the other end, Theo Zagar gave up just 1 goal, is credited with 2 saves, and his Open Cup play this year ends with 2 wins and a tie record. And the attendance tonight, 7,016, 7,016. So there's your stats on the night for this Open Cup match. Coming up next for the Rhinos, back to A-League play on Friday night here, as they'll be hosting the Syracuse Salty Dogs, looking for a little payback on what happened in Syracuse on Sunday night. The Rhinos here Friday night, meeting the Salty Dogs, and then on Sunday with the Charleston Battery returning to town Sunday night, 6 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, of course a 7:35 kickoff on Friday night. So hope you'll all be out here Friday night as the Rhinos will take on the Syracuse Salty Dogs. For Joe Giuliano, I'm Don Stevens. Coming up next will be from behind the net with Andrew Battisti and Soccer Sam taking your calls, and Andrew will be filling us in on scores elsewhere around the world of soccer tonight also. So stay tuned for that along our network. Again, the Rhinos tonight eliminated from US Open Cup play. The Charleston Battery move on to meet the Chicago Fire in the semifinals of US Open Cup. The final score, the Battery 1 and the Rhinos 0. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Andrew Battisti back here at Frontier Soccer Stadium with the Free Time Magazine out-of-town scoreboard. Free Time Magazine is your entertainment guide for New York and the Rochester area. Pick up your free copy twice a month or go to freetime.com anytime. Other U.S. Open Cup matchups tonight. The Chicago Fire, the cup holders, will go on to the semifinals to face the Charleston Battery. They beat Richmond tonight in Richmond 1-0 on a goal from Dipsy Selawane. The scorer for the Fire, they go into the semifinals against Charleston. Out west, Midwest actually, the Minnesota Thunder are hosting the San Jose Earthquakes late in the second half. The match is tied at 2-2. San Jose took a 2-1 lead, but Minnesota came back right after the Earthquakes scored and scored a goal of their own. That match is headed toward overtime. It's not final yet, but we will have hopefully a result of that before we go off the air. And in Kansas City, the Wizards lead Dallas 2-0 midway through the second half in the other Open Cup quarterfinal going on this evening. That's it for the Free Time Magazine out-of-town scoreboard. Soccer Sam will join me next on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We want to hear from you tonight. Give us a call at 346-3000 or toll free 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, your Rhinos call-in show. We want to hear from you tonight. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. What can you say? It's a very tough loss tonight for the Rhinos. The U.S. Open Cup is done for the season. Charleston Battery move on to the semifinals with a 1-0 win. Soccer Sam joins me, and Sam, we already have our first guest tonight.
I'll tell you, one of my players of the game, and talk about a true professional, a true man. After that devastating loss, I thought that nobody would show up to help us out on the show here, but Sean Shakaris, buddy, you are a true professional, man. Thank you for being here.
No problem, Sam.
Sean, I mean, obviously you guys dominated play. It just wouldn't go in the net. Let's face it. Everybody that saw it here tonight, 7,000 plus fans, you guys dominated. You controlled the whole game. You had the ball at your feet the whole time. We just couldn't hit the net.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're going on to the next round, and you know how disappointing it is. You were here to watch it, and it's even more disappointing when you play in a game like that against a team that came here to get a goal, to get a scrappy goal. They did, and they do what they do best. That they don't want the ball at their feet, so they kick it as far as they can. It's just frustrating to lose, man, and especially, I'll say it actually, especially to a team like that. It's obvious they don't like to play.
Well, Sean, I think we talked about in the pregame show, a lot of guys' jobs were on the line tonight for them, including Coach Ramsey, and they played their game. Their game is the English style, just bomb the ball downfield, no midfield play, and they got the early goal, and that's all they did. The whole rest of the game was bomb it downfield and keep it away from their own goal.
You can say that about them, where they're not in the race to win the championship, but our jobs are on the line too, and we knew that this was a game that we needed and that we really wanted, and that's why it makes it that more disappointing when you don't come out of here with a win.
Sean, I can't wait to see the news tonight, but our replay machine in the booth kind of malfunctioned during the first goal. What happened there? It looked like Theo was coming out. I think the way I saw it, I think he was coming out and he realized that the ball was going to land outside the box, and he kind of hesitated. How did you view the goal?
I think you're spot on. I don't really want to comment too much on it. I know Theo's pretty disappointed, pretty bummed out in the locker room, and there's not much you say to a guy like that, because he's been there, done that, and knows that we expect better, and the great thing is he expects better from himself. That's going to happen, miscommunication, and it's just a really tough goal to give away, especially that early, and especially against a team that we know defends so well. So that's why it's so tough, especially at home, and they were just going to bunker in, and that's what they did, and they hung on for 89 minutes.
So we have our first caller here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Dave, you're on the air with Sean Sekiris. Go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, you played a great game. I'm having a tough time with the miscommunication, though. The season's half gone. There should be a miscommunication. He's misplayed balls like this for right along. If he can't keep him in the net where he belongs, they should put him on the bench.
You know what? As a teammate, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to comment on that. He knows it's disappointing. I'm definitely disappointed because I expect better from Theo, but you know what? I expect better from myself. I expect better from everybody who played tonight. So if I put a few balls away, if our forwards I thought everyone did well, but yeah, it's disappointing. And if that's your personal opinion, there's nothing I can say to that. But as a teammate, I wouldn't want him to say anything about me, so I'm not going to say anything about him.
Dave, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate it. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Sean, when the best moment for the Rhinos, midway through the first half, Chris had an unbelievable look from about 10, 15 yards out, and the ball just banged off the crossbar and came out, and I just said to myself, I hope that just doesn't come back to bite us. It's just an unlucky bounce for the Rhinos.
I mean, when you're playing, you think you're going to get more chances, and we did, and that's why it wasn't as disappointing then. But now, CJ. I'll go home and I'll play this game over back in my head, and we had so many opportunities, so many chances like that. Myself, Kirk Wilson, Chris, Ian himself in the second half, Fuller. It's just disappointing. You can't put your finger on one play. They had two chances and put one away.
Man.
And
Sean, you can't do that, though, man. You can't look back, though, dude. Let's just focus now on the A-League Championship. Let's focus on making the playoffs and making sure we get that spot. And let's just focus on the A-League Championship. Let's just not look back. It's just sometimes it's not meant to be. I mean, you look at how many times Trouty had the ball, was popping in the box, and just shot. Chris was slipping on the grass last minute, and it just wasn't going our way, man. Sometimes the Theo, the goal. I can't wait to see what really happened, but. We should have buried like 3, 4, 5 goals. It just wasn't happening, though. It's just destiny, man.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, you hit on the head. I have no more to say about it, no other comments to make. It's just disappointing. It's, when you play in a game like that, it's tough to just kind of take a shower and think about something else, so.
Right.
I know we have a game Friday. I know we have a game Sunday, and we'll have to look at that. We don't want to think too much about this, but it's just definitely a tough pill to swallow.
Let's think about Tai Key, my man. How's your brother Tai Key doing, by the way?
Tai Key's coming here tomorrow morning.
All right,
and he'll be here this weekend to watch the games. Unfortunately, I'm out because of yellow cards on Friday. But Sunday I will be back to play against these guys.
You're out, but you're doing something really beautiful tomorrow, man. We are going to Camp Good Days, a special time.
That's right. I am going with you.
Kids from throughout the world are there this week, kids that have cancer, and they're battling it, and we're going to go make them feel better, baby.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
Nice.
Yep. Our next call here on Behind the Net is from CJ. CJ, you're on with Sean Securis. Go ahead.
Hey, Sean. Hey, boys. Tough one. I probably speak for everybody when I say what happened to the refs. My gosh. I mean, everybody in the stands, around myself included, were screaming for balls. And, I mean, all those Charleston players pushing our guys down. I mean, you guys played one heck of a second half, but we just couldn't put it away. I mean, what happened to the refs?
Well, we're not going to be able to comment.
Ideas, guys. Where were they?
Sean can't say anything.
Yeah, Sean can't, but I bought insurance for that just in case. But CJ, I talked to Dave from the Stampede. These are not my. This is his opinion. He just said the refs were horrible tonight. He wants to know their names. He wants to report them to US Soccer. There was a couple handballs that were just overlooked. A lot of pushing in the box overlooked. And
then it's like that one, if I can recollect correctly, that one push down in the box where it should have been called, and it wasn't called. I mean, we had our chances, I admit, and we have, like you said, Sammy, we could build 3 or 4 goals. It's like, I don't know, but like you said just 2 seconds ago, we have to put this loss behind us.
Right.
We have to come home to play Syracuse, and we just have to win. That's all there is to it. We have to put a few goals in the net.
That's right. See, that's what we're going to do, buddy. All right, man? Hang in there. We're going.
That's right, Sammy.
We're going to the A-League Championship, baby.
And, I'll listen.
Thank you.
Thanks, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, look at Sean. I can't look back to when I was 150 pounds and damn good looking. I mean, I just can't look back there.
You're so good looking.
I gotta look forward, baby. I gotta look forward to possibly going on a diet soon. I mean, that's what I gotta do.
So I know this is a tough pill. This is a tough pill to swallow with this game, but the team now has the A-League to look forward to. The Rhinos in Syracuse on Friday night. Unfortunately, you won't be in action due to yellow cards, but we'll see you on Sunday against this same Battery team coming back here, and I get a feeling we're going to have some fire in our eyes on Sunday when we see those same guys again.
Yeah, we'll take one game at a time.
Thanks a lot, Sean.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, wait. How about a shout out to the family? Okay, we lost. Let's say a little mom.
Sorry,
Come on.
Sorry. I take that back. Guys, I know you're listening. I love you. And have a safe flight out here, and I will see you this weekend.
That's a good man.
Thanks, Sean.
That's a good man right there. I wish someday my kids, when they start talking to me again, they do that.
Sean Securis joins us here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Our next guest here on Behind the Net, another true gentleman, came back to the lineup tonight, and right when Jeff DeVeronica saw his name on the lineup sheet, he was like, his eyes bugged out. He couldn't believe it. Long time in coming. Ian Fuller joins us here on Behind the Net. And Ian, first of all, welcome back to the team and back to the starting lineup. And just a tough game tonight.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for saying that. But it was very difficult. I don't know. I don't want to give them any credit, but yeah, I guess you have to. But it was very, very difficult. I guess you could say debut for me. It was a tough game, and we should have scored. Shouldn't have given away a goal, and it's that simple.
Well, Ian, I mean, obviously, it seemed to me the game plan was working. They're getting you the ball. You were kind of like flicking it off your head, and Chris was running onto it, and Wilson was running onto it, and later on, Doug Miller ran onto it. Just that final thing just wasn't happening. I talked to Sean about it. it's like destiny, man. It was just like there was this curtain there. No matter what happened in the box, it just wasn't going past that goalie.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, especially I don't know. If you're playing against a team that sits back like that and has 3, 6, 4 guys back there, it's very difficult. Especially when you're attacking the goal with dirt like that, the ball's going to run. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, it's such a inches.
And the size of the field. I mean, it's so crammed, it's so small back here.
Yeah. In practice, were you working up top pretty much most of the time? Because earlier in the year you were playing in the center of the midfield, right in front of the back four, but tonight you were the prime target man.
Yeah, we felt we needed more of a presence up top, and we thought we could get that through me. I don't know if it happened tonight, to tell you the truth. I mean, they were throwing me around all over the place, but we have so many midfielders, and we got some injuries up top. Jefferson's out, so what can I say? We didn't get it done tonight. We didn't score. So
I don't have the final stats here, but man, it seems like you guys had tons of corner kicks. Just the placement maybe just wasn't happening. Where you hitting I saw Demon in there, and David Ray was up there a couple times, and Wilson, and obviously you, and it just wasn't happening.
it's very difficult with so many big guys from their team. I mean, we have some big guys as well, but, you know, when they sit back all 11 guys inside the box, I mean, there's not much you can do except, you know, keep the pressure on. And we did. We just, I mean, y'all had some chances. I had some chances. Chris hit the bar. You know, it's very frustrating.
We have our next caller here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Nicole is up. Nicole, you're on with Ian Fuller.
Hey, Ian, Sam, Andrew. Ian, I think you did great tonight. I mean, having you back in the lineup, I mean, definitely helps the team, and you look really good for being gone as long as you were, and I was surprised you actually played the whole game. I didn't think you would, but you did great, and, you know, I mean, it is disappointing that we couldn't finish, and I mean, I think that's one of the biggest problems this year is that the finishing, it's killing the team. I mean, I don't really know what to say, but...
Yeah, there's not much to say. I appreciate your compliments of me, but it isn't much to say. I mean, we're not getting it done. That's all it is. You know, we're giving up goals, bad goals, and we're not scoring goals, and that's going to kill you. I mean, there's nothing more to it.
Nicole, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye-bye, Nicole. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. How are you feeling physically, Ian?
I'm tired. I mean, I didn't expect to play 90 minutes tonight, but I was called to do it, and I'm very tired. It's going to be tough to rebound emotionally, physically, but we have to. I mean, there's no other choice. We got the league to think solely on now, and I think that's honestly might help us out. So we're looking forward to it, and it's a tough pill to swallow tonight, but we got to move on. There's no question about it.
Well, Ian, I said it to Sean, man, dude, you're a true professional. Come over here. This is a difficult loss, and for you to come over here and talk this, man, you're just awesome, man. I know you're doing it for the fans, buddy, but thank you so much. You're a true gentleman.
Sammy, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks, Ian. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Look at the guys looking good, though, man. Going out tonight, hopefully, and I don't know, you can't go out tonight. You better go home, but dude, you look good, by the way. I mean, on and off the field.
Going to bed.
You should be like a GQ model, I'm telling you. Hang up the soccer. Let's go. I'll be your agent.
Sam, next to you, I don't look like anything.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
Ian Fuller played all 90 minutes tonight up top for the Rhinos. The Rhinos drop a 1-0 decision to the Charleston Battery. Our next caller on Behind the Net is Emily. Emily, you're on the air. Go ahead.
I'm wondering, does anyone know why Lennon didn't play tonight?
Sam? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. One thing I got to tell you, though, Emily, is that I looked over to the bench a few times, and he was just so into the game, pumping up his teammates and screaming at the linesman when things weren't going right. And I thought to myself, man, that takes a lot. I mean, for a guy as competitive as Lennon, who just played his 200th game, not playing out there and still just fired up to make sure that his boys win this and his team wins this. And I was proud of him, but we have no idea why he didn't play.
Honestly, I think, Emily, the injury to Carlos Mendez really changed up Coach Ercoli's plan, I would admit. I bet Lennon was supposed to come in, but when Mendez went down, then Carlos Semedo had to come into the game as the fourth defender. And then he ended up coming out of the game when the coach went with 3 in the back and put Doug Miller up top. So Lennon, there's only 4 subs allowed in Open Cup play, so that really sort of tied the hands of Coach Ercoli.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really think Lennon's great, even though he didn't play, yay. And about Fuller, man, I was disappointed when he got hurt, but I was even more disappointed when he played tonight.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think he played his heart out. I think, like he said, he was surprised he played all 90 minutes. We, all you fans, all you have your favorites, and it's got to hurt when your favorites don't play. But let's just support these guys into the championship, and hopefully we can win the A-League title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Emily, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate it.
Emily, see you Friday night and hopefully Sunday night, too.
Thanks, Emily. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Let's take a break here on Behind the Net. When we come back, we want to hear from you. Give us your thoughts on tonight's match. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Andrew Battisti and Soccer Sam. Rhinos are out of the US Open Cup as the Charleston Battery pull off a big surprise, you got to say it.
Man, shocker.
1-0 victory. Gabe Valencia, the former Rhino, comes back and bites his old team in the butt and scores a goal in the 6th minute, and the Battery defend the rest of the match pretty much and hold on for the 1-0 victory.
A couple updates. Kansas City will be moving on to the next round. They're up 4-0 on the Dallasburg in extra time and stoppage time. Minnesota and San Jose. That match is now in extra times, tied at 2. So we may have 2 A-League teams in the semifinals of the Open Cup, depending on the result of that match.
And it's amazing. Here's the deal, all you listeners, man. We've got about half hour left in the show. We're off at 11 p.m. We want to take as many calls as we can. Your comments on tonight's game, your comments on the season, your comments on the future. So just give us a call, and let's go to our first caller, is Bill. Bill, welcome to the Behind the Net.
Hey, guys. Hey, this is devastating. This is a devastating loss. This went true. I measure, and a lot of people measure this team not against the A-League, but against their ability to play against MLS and to put their hearts on the line for the US Open Cup. That's it. And the whole season, all the problems that this team has had scoring, this team has had, the only guy that seems to have any fire, any passion, seems to be Yari. Yari comes in there and gets the crowd into it. He starts to run. It doesn't mean run like crazy, but just seem to want to get the crowd involved, seem to want to have something to put on the line. And I'm waiting for somebody on this team to put something on the line and make it and take charge and push this team out of this mess they're in. They're in a mess. They can't score goals. They make stupid plays that lead to losses. This is a team that's now, 13-9?
Well, this loss doesn't count toward the...
It counts, Andrew. It counts.
Well, it counts, but it doesn't count toward 13. We had 2 wins already, so that means...
I understand it, but it counts in the psyche, and it counts in how this team is viewed.
Excuse me, Andrew.
Right now, this team is not scoring goals and it's not playing anywhere near where they need to play in for what we expect here.
Well, what's the problem, though, Bill? You said everything that's kind of obvious, but how do you fix it? I mean, what do you do to fix it? We got great forwards, we got great midfielders.
Well, if we got great forwards, why aren't they scoring? Why aren't they scoring if they're so great? Well, if we got great midfielders, why are we just trying to throw the ball up to small guys and hope the hell that they had the ball?
That's a good point, Bill. I mean, we've sort of played into the Battery's strength tonight. They have big, tall fullbacks, and we were pumping high balls in there, hoping for a mistake. And there were a couple of chances that, possibly, there are a couple of, using in il mano, if you say in Italian. But what are you going to do?
Well, Bill, I honestly, I've seen every single game this season. I don't have the answer for you, man.
Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure I do either. Other than the fact that I want to see a little emotion. I want to see somebody besides Chris Carrieri get mad at somebody and run at somebody. I want somebody to get in somebody's face once in a while and say, "Come on."
Well, Bill, we saw that tonight, though. Outside of the box, I don't remember what player got taken down, but the whole team rallied around. I mean, John Wilson was ready to attack somebody, and I saw some. I think this team is together. I just think that they're just having a problem, seeing the goal for some reason.
Right. Well, and I've always said, when as soon as they scored a goal, we said everybody around us said the same thing. Okay, they're just going to sit back. The field is going to kill us. They're going to just sit back, and the game is pretty much over. And then as soon as we missed that shot and hit the crossbar, and we all said, "Oh God, that's going to bite us. That's going to bite us because we're not going to get 5, 6 opportunities to score a goal against these guys." And sure enough, it bit us right in the butt. And it's those types of things that's been happening all year long. And it's just an issue of finishing. We're just not finishing. And we don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. I'm just frustrated.
That's what the show's all about, baby. This is your show. This is the fan show. Bill, we really, really appreciate you calling.
Thanks,
Bill. No problem, guys. Keep it up, and I'll be there for them the whole way, man.
That's what we want to hear, baby. I'll see you Friday night.
Thanks, Bill.
Awesome.
346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Rhinos now a very, very important A-League matchup on Friday. The Syracuse Salty Dogs have won 7 in a row. Rhinos need a victory, and if they don't, the Salty Dogs are within 1 point of a playoff spot.
That's wild, man. I'll tell you, Andrew, you made a comment to me during the break about me fooling around with these guys. I'm just trying to relax, but when the referee blew the whistle, buddy, I had, tears rolling down my eyes. I mean, it's just like,
It was.
I couldn't control it. I mean, I was in the suite with Hollywood from the show, and I couldn't even look at her, man. My eyes were like watering right up, and this is my team too, man. It's like I love this team. I love these guys. I love the coach. I love the ownership. I mean, I want these guys to win everything, but it's devastating. It's destiny, though. I'm telling you.
Do you even love me?
I kind of love you, Andrew, but everything in life's destiny. Like,
I know.
What are two guys like us doing on a post-game show? I mean, it's destiny.
We're trying to entertain the fans, like Steve. Steve, up next on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'll
tell you something, though. It was
tough night.
Without a doubt, that was the best game that I've seen them play all year. And all 11 players played their hearts out, and you can't fault them for that. That game easily could have been 5-1 if we had any bit of luck. They at least they're getting shots off tonight. They're playing offensive, aggressive soccer, and that's the first home game I've seen them do that all year. So I'm hoping that this game can propel them back into to get them ready for the A-League playoff run. And if they play like they did tonight, the balls will start going in the net. And it's just a matter of time. And it was definitely the most frustrating game I've seen. And I think it wasn't one of their better crowds of the season, probably because of the rain. But the 7,000 fans that were there, you could just feel some of the intensity in that stadium on the corner kicks, and everybody was into it. And it was a great, entertaining game. And you got to take the positives out of it. And if they keep playing aggressive soccer and play at a high level like they did tonight, good things are going to happen. And that's what I hope they take away from this game and get back to the A-League business, and let's make a strong run. Hopefully we can host a championship game here and sell the place out.
I totally agree with you, Steve. I thought these guys played their hearts out. I know Bill thought only a few players were playing with their heart, but it seemed like they all were playing. It was just tough, small field. But you mentioned about the attendance tonight. I got to say something, Andrew. Again, I don't care. I bought insurance in case I get fined. But, Stevie, here's the thing. First thing this morning, I turned on the TV at 6 a.m., and I'm hearing thunderstorms tonight for the Rhino game. All day long I'm hearing thunderstorms, right? There's absolutely no thunder, not even rain when the game started. The only thing I can say is this, to the weatherman out there, thank God you guys aren't doctors. I mean, imagine you go to them, hey, you got 3 months to live, buddy. It's like, thanks a lot. I mean, it's just, these guys, I mean, it kills us. So we easily could have had 12,000 people here tonight, but it's just if you think there's going to be flood warnings, there's flood warnings in effect, there's thunderstorms. It's like, these guys are killing us, man.
Right, I hear you. It turned out to be a beautiful night. Perfect weather for a game, and hopefully, like I said, Berkeley will keep up this attacking style. That's really the soccer that fans want to see. They don't want to see, get one like Charleston played tonight. Those guys stunk. They didn't play soccer the whole night. They got one lucky goal. They sat back and played defense. They put 11 guys back in the small field, put them in the box, and it's just tough to score. We had a lot of chances. The ball just wasn't bouncing our way, but we just got to keep playing aggressive. And the players, you got to hand it to them. They played their guts out. And you can't say, there's nobody can say they didn't play hard tonight or they didn't play with fire. It was crazy. These guys played like I'd never seen them play before.
I agree, Stevie. They certainly did, Steve. Thanks very much for the call.
Rock on.
Thanks a lot, Steve. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Let's take a break.
Wait. Before we go to break real quick, I just want to say a shout-out here to this field crew here. These guys are working hard all day here, putting this place together, taking it down. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, got to give big up to the grounds crew. They had a baseball game this morning, soccer game tonight, first time it's ever happened. They did a great job. Once again, let's take a break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. When we come back, I want to hear from you. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Andrew Battisti, Soccer Stand back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. When your phone has a walkie-talkie, you're instantly more productive. No more voicemail and no more phone tag. There's instant access to the people you need. Every Nextel phone comes with a built-in walkie-talkie feature, and it even works from coast to coast. Call 350-2000 for more details. Rhinos run in the 2004 US Open Cup is over. The Charleston Battery will play the Chicago Fire, the cup holders, coming up on the 25th of August. And I'm not sure if they mentioned in Chicago or Charleston, Sam. I'll have to check that out.
I think Charleston.
I think it's Charleston's hosting that. Well, they got their chance to knock out the cup holders, and hey, again, this victory could have saved Chris Ramsey's job, because the Battery were out of the A-League playoffs. They had nothing else to play for. This was their season, and they just extended it by 3 more weeks, pretty much. Charleston will be back here on Sunday.
I don't really care about Charleston, man.
Well, we're going to care about them on Sunday.
I don't care about their coach. I don't care about their team. I really don't.
Well, hey, you got to be professional here. You got to.
I am professional. I care about our Rhinos.
Well, so do I.
I care about Friday, and I care about Sunday.
Well,
and I care about the A-League championship.
Well, you know who we're playing Sunday? Charleston.
That's right. We're going to beat them.
We're going to. Well, I think the players will definitely have a lot of incentive, and hopefully the match will stay clean. I'm just worried that it might get a little ugly.
Sure, Charleston's got nothing to lose, but we'll see what happens.
And Syracuse tomorrow on Friday night, 2 nights from now.
That's big.
Scott Schweitzer won't be playing. He's suspended, but Rene Rivas will be here. And I don't know about T-Max Suarez. He's been hurt.
He's been hurt, but Tommy Tanner will probably be on the bench, and I'll tell you, that's big. Let's go to the line.
Let's go to our next caller here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct.
Hello?
Yes, caller. What's your name?
Yeah, my name's Eric.
Hi, Eric. How you doing?
Well, I've been better, to be honest with you, fellas.
So have we.
Eric, this is what we're going to do now, and everybody's listening. You got 1 minute, Eric, to express your opinion about tonight's game. We're going to the next caller.
Okay. We work hard, but we're not working smart. I think we really miss a guy who understands how to make plays on set pieces and who knows how to service the ball to our big fellas, or get things done up top. Chris Carrieri is working his butt off, but we can't seem to get him the ball in the right place. The guy just does not look comfortable up there. We really miss a guy like Stoy Mladenoff on the free kicks.
He was in town today, and he was here at the game.
He was?
Yes. His season's over. He's living in Cleveland, and he called Chris Carrieri, and he came to visit. So he was in town today to watch this game.
Man, I'd love to have that guy back, huh?
I think he's got a great deal going in, what is it, Austria, Australia. I get them all confused.
Well, one last question for you, Sam, if I could.
Yes.
I listened to the New England game, and you were really praising Pilarski for his service and getting good balls to guys. And the guy hasn't played really, I don't think, since then. What's going on? Why wasn't he? In your opinion, why is he playing tonight? Why isn't he playing more?
The reason he's not playing tonight, I have no idea. I'm assuming he's maybe injured, or maybe he's just not performing well at practice. The last game in New England, which was on a different field against a different team, I think Ian Pilarski and Lennon Steenkamp were my 2 players of the game, and neither one of them played tonight. So, but we're not at practice. We don't see what's happening. We don't know if they're banged up. We don't know if they're if they're hurting or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, that's the question for the coach and the coaching staff. But I got a feeling that both of them aren't as healthy as Coach Eric would like them to be.
Thanks a lot for the call, Eric. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Our next caller on Behind the Net. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. What's your name?
Here's the deal, Andrew. I mean, people want, we don't have the answers and what the lineup is. Unfortunately, it's just Coach Eric puts the lineup based on what he sees in films he watches and how the players are performing at halftime. I mean, that's how he sets it up. So let's go to Ed. Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Ben.
You know what, Soccer Sam?
Okay, Brian. I'm sorry, buddy. My ear thing. I messed it up. I dropped it earlier. Go ahead, Brian. You got 1 minute to express yourself quick.
Okay. You know what? When I left Frontier Field, I'm so upset at the officials because here's the reason why I say that. Because there should have been called that the icing should have been made and look like he was calling this game more against Charleston against Rhinos.
All right, Brian. Well, thank you for your comments, buddy. All right?
Yep.
Okay, buddy.
346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Dan, what's going on Friday night? What's the promotion Friday night?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Well, it's Friday Night Frenzy. We know that. So gates will open at 6 o'clock. There'll be bands. There'll be fireworks after the game.
Andrew, the Rhinos just lost an Open Cup game. You're asking me things. My brain right now is just like I'm gone, dude.
You're gone.
Let's take the next caller, please.
Ruth's up next up behind that. Brought to you by Nextel Direct. Go ahead.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi, guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, the delay on my phone is a little bit bad. I was really disappointed. I honestly thought after watching the game that I had forgotten what the handball rule was. The ref swallowed his whistle, but you got to play on.
The other thing that I have to agree with one other caller, I kept on waiting. A lot of times we get the ball down the wings, and then they, just throw it up in the air and pray. I was waiting for them to just cut the ball back or do a drop pass, something to open up a shooting lane, against these guys.
It's tough when you have 9 guys back and you're trying to get through there. It's a bunkering defense, and there's a lot of ways, like you said, there's ways to break it open, but unfortunately we couldn't break through with the goal we needed tonight.
Right, and the other disappointment was, that one shot that hit the crossbar. And Ian, gosh, Ian, you played a whale of a game. You threw your heart out there. When the Rhinos seemed to get down a little bit after that goal was scored, but when Yuri came in also, and he really picked them right back up, and Ian, you played your heart out. I got no complaints. It looked like the whole team gave a great effort.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for
calling.
That was a nice call.
It was. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Still time for you to call in. This is the Rochester Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, Andrew Battisti and Soccer Sam. Charleston Battery defeat the Rhinos tonight 1-0 in the US Open Cup Quarterfinals. Our next caller on Behind the Net is Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Good, Bill. How you doing?
Not bad. Could be better.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to a few of the callers after the game, and I can't really blame Theo for this game at all. I mean, our guys had like 87, 88 minutes to bring it back, and it just couldn't happen. It was an unfortunate situation, but can't fall on his shoulders, man. And and I'm personally not a guy who really favors his defensive style, but boy, it sure worked for them tonight, didn't it?
It did work, man. They're on the road, and they knew what they wanted to do, and like I said, you got to credit Coach Ramsey. They executed their game plan to perfection, and got a couple lucky breaks, and they're moving on.
Thanks for calling, Bill.
All right,
man. So all the callers, here's our deal. 1 minute, you express yourself, we'll go on to the next caller because we're running out of time here.
Ben is up next on Behind the Net.
65 once again.
Ben is up on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. How are you, Ben? Go ahead.
We lost Ben.
Really good. Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Okay, all right. I thought it was really good when Yari came in. It really got the crowd going, and he really got the morale up. But what I think doesn't really help is, we're down 1-0, only 1-0. There's like 4 minutes left in the game. I'm sitting in my seat, and I look down at the area, where they leave or whatever, and there's like everybody's down there, it must make the Rhinos feel really bad that, these people have given up on them halfway through and they still have a chance, and I don't think it helps at all.
Well, it's true. I mean, I don't know if the players really take notice as the people are leaving. They're probably so into the game, but you're right that, the people should stay in. It was a 1-goal game. I mean, we've scored plenty of goals in stoppage time in our history, so it just didn't happen tonight. But
yeah.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for calling, buddy.
Number to call is 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Let's go to our next caller here on Behind the Net. Caller, what's your name?
Phyllis.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Could be better, of course, like everybody else. But I'd like to know one thing. When are they going to do something about these officials?
Well,
I mean, handballs, takedowns in the box, back blows.
Yeah, I mean...
What is it with these officials?
I'm sorry, I missed your name. What is it?
Phyllis.
Phyllis, I've said this before. I really think that, unfortunately, these officials don't officiate pro soccer games 7 days a week or 5 days a week. They do it maybe once a week, once every other week. And
don't they know the rules?
Well, they know the rules, but I think there's 20 guys running around you, and honestly, I mean, I had the chance to officiate some kids' games in the past, helping out when I was coaching, and it's just amazing. It's hard to see everything when there's 20. Imagine professionals.
Oh, some of them were so blatant.
Yeah, they
right in front of them.
Well, Phyllis, a lot of times though, these players, unfortunately, the players that act and overreact, the refs.
I noticed he didn't mind giving our guys yellow cards.
Yeah. Well, Phyllis, please, just U.S. Soccer, USL Soccer, maybe, put a comment in there and then get a hold of them and tell them what you think.
Okay.
Thanks, Phyllis. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Let's take our final break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Give us a call here on the Rhinos Radio Network.
Back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Our final caller of the evening is Al. Al, you're closing out the show. Make it good.
I don't know if I'm going to make it good. I went to the dinosaur and grabbed something to eat, so I don't know what you've been talking about. But so what's the take on Theo? How much longer are we going to keep him as a keeper?
Well, he won the game for us in against New England. I mean, he really did. And tonight it was just a miscue, and that's, if you watch any level of soccer, from European soccer, I mean, goalies make mistakes, but, teams come back and score. Tonight we just couldn't come back and score. I mean, you can't just blame it on one guy. It's a team game.
Okay, Al, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Hey, Andrew, one last thing I got to say.
Yes.
I'm out.
I know. Thanks a lot, Sam. That'll do it for Nextel Direct Behind the Net. Thanks to our producer, Bob D'Angelo, all the engineers along the Rhinos Radio Network, Don Stevens and Joe Giuliano with the call tonight. Also, thank you to Andrew Bell on the pregame show who helped us out, and Bill Sedgwick, our halftime guest. Eric Trendle, Director of Media and Community Relations, GM Chris Condominiums, everybody associated with the Rhinos, one of the best five best-run sports franchises in existence. And thanks to you, all of our callers, and also, of course, to Sean Securis and Ian Fuller for joining us on Behind the Net. Our next broadcast of Rhino Soccer will be Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff, 7 p.m. pregame, 7:35 kickoff. The Rhinos hosting the Syracuse Salty Dogs. The Soccer Sam from Andrew Battisti. Once again, the final score: the Rhinos 0 and Charleston 1. The Charleston Battery going to the semifinals of the US Open Cup. Good night, everyone.